Chapter 47, Who's Going to Eat Shit? Chapter 47, Who's Going to Eat Shit? As soon as his voice fell, the surroundings quieted down. Abolish the young lord. This was no small matter. With things having gotten to this point, Long Zhanwu could no longer continue to hide, and coldly said, as the great clan elder of the Long family, I have this right. Long Fei, as long as you don't get first place in the assessment, you will no longer be the young master of the Long family. Long Shan and the others immediately stepped forward and said, Grand Elder, the patriarch is still here, and Grand Elder is still around. You don't seem to have the power to decide on the annulment of the young lord, right? Grand Elder, you shouldn't be doing this, right? The young master was chosen by the Grand Master in the Long family's ancestral hall. If you want to abolish the young master, you have to wait for him to come out of seclusion. Many people spoke up for Long Fei. Most of these people were disciples with surnames bestowed to them by the Long family. They were grateful to Long Fei in their hearts. Long Zhanya also reminded him in a small voice, Big brother, this is a little. Long Zhanwu sneered, Whatever decision I make is not up to you guys to say. If you have the ability to do so, then invite the Grand Elder and Patriarch out. If you can't, then shut up. The voice released the aura of the War Chief. The aura of the War Chief crushed them, causing them to be unable to say a single word. Long Fei's eyes became sinister and said, What if I win first place? Without waiting for Long Zhanwu to speak, Long Ao took the lead and said, Long Fei, if you can take first place, you can do whatever you want of me. I'll let you see just what kind of **T I'll eat. Full of confidence. Forget about everything else. Long Ao was confident that no one would be able to kill more beasts than him. Of course, it was not him who had hunted, but a dozen or so disciples of the war spirit realm who had helped him kill. Seeing his son so confident, Long Zhanwu laughed. Long Fei, did you hear that? You really want to play it big? Long Fei said. Long Ao laughed complacently. What? Are you scared? If you don't dare to bet, then scram to the side and obediently hand over your position as the young master. Long Fei said, How about the bet is a little bigger, and you two eat **T together? Long Zhanwu's expression immediately changed. Long Ao scolded. Long Fei, just prepare to hand over the young master's seat and eat shit in front of your entire family. Long Shan pulled Long Fei and said, Young master, there are more than a dozen disciples helping Long Ao kill demon beasts. Many people saw it. Long Ao could not miss the chance to step on Long Fei. Afraid that Long Fei would go back on his word, he immediately said, Men, go to the toilet and bring me a bowl of **T. Long Zhanwu also immediately said, Begin counting. The father and son duo did not give Long Fei any leeway to go back on his words. Long Ao said to his father, Father, just watch carefully. This time I am going to kill that bastard Long Fei. Next, the disciples that were participating in the examination quickly stood in 2 rows. One after another, they brought out the demonic beasts they had killed. Long Yu, 160 points. Long Tai, 10 points. Dragon Lin, 10 points. Long Shan, 90 points. Next, Long Ao. Long Ao walked out, his face full of smiles as he stared coldly at Long Fei, and said disdainfully, Long Fei, just prepare to eat **T. While they were talking, Long Ao shouted loudly, Look carefully at all of this. After saying that, he took out fire wolves from the space ring one by one. Martial arts arena quickly piled them up like a mountain, and the statistical elder also quickly recited 108 heads, 109 heads, 150. At this time, Long Ao slightly stopped and switched the space ring with an incomparably pleased look on his face. He stared at Long Fei and said, Here's the thing that scared you to death. Suddenly, an even more powerful fire wolf pulled out its space ring. Everyone was shocked. The statistician said in a trembling voice, "Secondary monster, secondary monster." More than one. There were a total of 10 secondary monster. Long Zhanwu revealed a smile that he did not have for a long time, and thought, "Long Fei, I'll see what you can do this time. Ha ha." The statistics were out. Long AO, 2,000 points. Break the Long family's history. 2,000 points. Oh my God, there are so many of them. They can actually break the Long family's history. More than a dozen people helping him kill them. This isn't his result at all. Many people knew this, but not many people dared to say it because Long Zhanwu's gaze was genuinely cold as he stared at them. Long AO was extremely arrogant. He walked to Long Fei's side and said, "Do you still want to compete? Get ready to eat shit." Ha ha. Don't mention how excited he was. After being slapped 5 times by Long Fei, he had the heart to kill Long Fei. As long as he ate feces in front of his entire clan, Long Fei would never be able to raise his head up. The more he thought about it, the more excited Long AO became. "Bring the feces over here." A disciple walked over while holding his breath and said, "Young Master Long AO, these are all just produced today. The fragrance is especially fragrant." Long AO covered his nose with one hand and said, "Good, you did very well." Long Shan stood in front of Long Fei and said, "Young master, I'll—" And then a few more disciples walked up and said, "We'll replace you." Long AO immediately bellowed, "Scram to the side. The one eating shit is Long Fei. If you guys want to eat, then I'll get someone to make a big barrel for you guys to eat." "Long Fei, hurry up. Is there still a need to compete?" Long Fei was secretly grateful and said with a smile, "Why are you in such a hurry? If you're in a hurry, then eat this *T first." While they were talking, Long Fei had already walked out. He looked at the statistics elder. "Look carefully." As soon as he finished, Long Fei's hands moved like the wind as he crazily took out the monster head from the group of space ring. 36, 89, 107, 139, 189, 207, 350, 590, 780. The final number was set to 780. This was because Long Fei had many monster head that he had yet to cut. Otherwise, he would have been able to double the number. The entire hall was silent. He was speechless. Long Fei walked to Long AO's side, patted his dumbstruck face, and said, "Still want to compete? Who's eating shit?" Long AO's expression changed. He could not say a word. At this moment, the statistical elders shouted loudly, 780 level 1 monster for a total of 7,800 points. First place. Suddenly, Long AO suddenly roared, "I can't accept this. Long Fei, these are all level 1 monster that you have hunted down. All are trash beasts. Do you have any secondary monster? Is there? If you can't even kill the secondary monster, what qualifications do you have to be the Long family's young master?" Long Zhanwu followed. "You're right, you don't even know if you killed these level 1 monster. If you want to prove yourself, then take out the secondary monster's head." Long Fei frowned. "You dare to go back on your word?" Long Zhanwu sneered. "I think you're cheating, right?" Long Fei suppressed the anger in his heart and said, "How can I prove that I didn't cheat?" Long Zhanwu said complacently, "It's very simple. Take out the corpses of secondary monster and higher. If not, your competition results will be ineffective, and you will lose the bet. Give up the position of young lord." Long AO said sinisterly, "And you still have to eat this *T. I don't have any secondary monster." Long Fei said indifferently. His hand reached into the space ring S. Without waiting for Long Fei to finish speaking, Long AO laughed excitedly. "Then you will lose. Long Fei will eat shit." Similarly, without waiting for Long AO to finish speaking, Long Fei's arms suddenly exerted more force, his voice became heavy, and he roared out, "But I have this beast!" Boom! The large Power King Kong ape's head was taken out and placed on the ground of martial arts arena like a small mountain. The large Power King Kong ape happened to be staring at Long Ao, and Long Ao immediately fell to the ground, retreating continuously while trembling. Shock, domineering. Not a single sound could be heard from the entire auditorium. It was so quiet that it was terrifying. Chapter 48. I'll just ask if you accept it or not. Chapter 48. I'll just ask if you accept it or not. To crush, that meant to crush to death. Since you don't want face, then step on his face. Everyone in the arena was looking at the head of the large Power King Kong ape. The 5-level monster was incomparably cruel, even if it was just a head. Shout. Laugh. Didn't you say that I didn't kill any demon beasts? Didn't you say that lousy is trash? Didn't you say that I don't have the qualifications to be the young master of the Long family? Scream for lousy again. Long Fei swept his gaze across the entire audience, looking incomparably arrogant and domineering. Crazy! He had to be crazy to the extreme. The aura from Long Fei's body unknowingly crushed the entire audience. Those people who had mocked Long Fei before did not dare to raise their heads to look at him, their hearts filled with fear. Long Fei was really no longer the trash of the past. Long Fei. It should be said that Long Fei, who was even more arrogant than his own genius, had returned. No one in the audience could say a word. Long Fei looked at Long Zhanwu coldly and said, "I'm just asking if you're convinced or not." Cluck, cluck. Long Zhanwu clenched both of his fists tightly, causing loud cracking sounds to appear from his joints, and the dense war chief Qi was released from his body, pressuring Xiang Longfei crazily as though flames were about to spew out of his eyes. At this moment, he really wanted to tear Long Fei into pieces. In an instant, war chief suppression. Long Fei's body sank as he struggled to resist. Because the level gap was too big, when facing the pressure attack, the King Kong shield had no way to defend, and Long Fei could not do anything either. However, he was still extremely arrogant. His voice was like thunder as he shouted, "Who's going to lose now?" As soon as his voice faded, Long Shan and the others had long been boiling with excitement. They shouted loudly, "The Great Elder has lost!" Long Fei roared again, "Who lost?" Long Shan and the others also threw caution to the wind and shouted, "Long Zhanwu!" His voice was deafening and domineering. This was the grandeur of the Long family's army. Long Fei resisted the pressure and laughed. "Great Clan Elder, if you are willing to admit defeat, you have to eat shit." At this moment, Long Ao rolled over and over, trying to get into the crowd to escape. The corner of Long Fei's eyes moved, his body leaped, and he instantly jumped in front of Long Ao. He laughed lightly. "Young Master Long Ao, where do you want to go?" Long Ao laughed obsequiously. "Long Fei, I was just joking. Please don't take it seriously. We are cousins." "Now tell me we are cousins. Every time you see me this year, you beat me up. Why didn't you call me a cousin at that time? Why didn't you say it was a cousin when the dung bucket was placed on my face just now? You father and son have done all that you can to make me die. Even the killer at Failure Alliance has invited me to die. Why don't you just call me cousin? Now you're telling Lousy that you're a cousin? Hee hee. Too late." While they were talking, Long Fei grabbed Long Ao's neck, as if he was holding a duck, and said, "Bring the SH*T over here." Long Shan took over the dung pot and said, "I'm here. It was just produced just now. The smell is really fragrant. Ha ha ha." Long Ao continued to struggle and shout for help. "Father, save me. Father, quickly save me. I don't want to eat SH*T. Not waiting for him to finish. Long Fei pushed his head down into the dung bowl. As his mouth was opened, Long Ao's mouth was quickly filled, his stomach rolled, and he vomited. When he vomited, another large mouthful of feces would rush into his mouth. "Drink up," Long Fei shouted loudly. "Don't spill a single drop." "Ah, woo, father. Ah, woo woo." Long Ao continued to struggle. His face was extremely pale, and his nose was full of **T. Long Zhanwu's eyes were bloodshot as he stared at Long Fei sinisterly. Long Fei laughed coldly. "Great clan elder, you want some too? Long Fei, you're courting death." Long Zhanwu was incomparably furious. The rage in his heart had already been suppressed. His son had eaten shit in front of all the other clan disciples. From today onwards, he would be a cripple. How could he bear it? Long Fei laughed. "Long Zhanwu, it won't take just 1 or 2 days for you to want me dead. Since you want me dead, then come and kill me. You think I don't dare?" Long Zhanwu bellowed. Long Fei said, "Dare, of course I dare. But if you kill the Long family's young master in front of the entire clan, can you bear the consequences?" It was also at this time Long Zhanye took a step forward, firmly held onto Long Zhanwu, and said in a low voice, "Big brother, you can't be rash. If you were to make a move now, you would be fooled by Long Fei. Kill the Long family's young master? This was no ordinary crime. If he killed the Long family's young patriarch, even in his dreams, Long Zhanwu wouldn't be able to sit on the seat of the Long family's patriarch. Hoo. Long Zhanwu took a deep breath. With a swing of his sleeves, he shouted, "The first round of the examination is over. Start the arena battle tomorrow." "Long Fei, I hope you still have a life to be arrogant tomorrow." Long Zhanwu glanced at his son, who was unconscious and lying on the ground with his stomach bulging and his mouth spitting feces, and shouted, "Carry him away for me." Finished. Long Zhanwu and his men quickly left. Oh, the young lord is mighty. Young master is domineering. Ha. The young lord is too handsome. The entire martial arts practice grounds was cheering. It was as if they had won a battle against their opponents. This was too exciting. The Long family's imperial guards, led by Long Shan, were cheering. Long Fei's entire body relaxed as cold sweat seeped out of his back. The pressure of the war chief was simply too unbearable. It was even more unbearable than facing off against large power King Kong Apes. At the same time, there were also people discussing, "He truly doesn't know his place. He offended the great elder in public, and the patriarch and the grand elder are still in seclusion. With him being so high profile, there's only one. Disappeared. The demonic beast assessment is just a child's test. No one knows where the monster head came from. But how can he kill them? I wouldn't believe it even if I were beaten to death. We will know about the stage tomorrow. I think the great clan elder will not let Long Fei off easily. He's too young, and he doesn't know how to restrain himself. He will definitely die in the arena tomorrow. No matter what the Long family said about Long Fei, there was one thing that he had to admit. Long Fei was no longer a piece of trash from 1 year ago. The fact that Long Fei was the Long family's young master was finally recalled by everyone. No one in the Long family anymore dared to look down on Long Fei, and no one dared to say he was a piece of trash. Then again, Long Fei's personality was, "If you respect me by 1 foot, then I respect you by 3. You want to fuck me? Sorry about that. I'll return it 100 times. High profile? Arrogant? These were just Long Fei's overbearing personality. He would continue to be arrogant. What did you say? That peak rank 5 beast was killed. Was it killed by Long Fei? Impossible. Absolutely impossible. Long Fei doesn't even have that kind of strength. Nangong Lei was extremely shocked. Even if that 5-level monster was a war chief ranker, it was not easy to deal with it. How could he, a broken pubes trash, kill it? Reporting to the Duke, I have investigated. It was Long Fei who led the demon beasts into the deep valley. No one knows what happened after that. But Nangong Lei immediately asked, "Just what?" The guard replied, "It's just that when the Long family disciples noticed them, there was another person by Long Fei's side, a member of the Heaven sect." Nangong Lei's eyes darkened. So the large power King Kong ape were killed by the experts of the Heaven sect, and Long Fei only took advantage of the opportunity to cut off their heads. This subordinate does not know. Nangong Lei looked out of the window with his hands behind his back and muttered, "Since when was Long Fei related to the disciples of the Heaven sect? I'll make a trip to the Long family tomorrow." It was not only Prince Nangong's house. The entire Fireglass City was shaking. The Divine Zhuge Manor, the Li martial arts sect, and even the Nangong Imperial Palace were the same. At the same time, they had all made the same decision. They would personally come to the Long family arena tomorrow because they wanted to investigate whether that genius Long Fei had really returned. Chapter 49. Handsome people can't keep a low profile. Chapter 49. Handsome people can't keep a low-profile Long family, Long Zhanwu's residence. Trash. Trash. All of them are trash. If you can't even handle a small piece of trash, like Long Fei, I really don't know what use will there be for you two to be raised. Long Zhanwu was furious. Long Fei had caused him to lose face in martial arts arena. Who in the Long family would dare speak to him like that and call him by name? Long Fei did not place him in her eyes at all. The thing that made Long Zhanwu the most furious was that many people started to stand by Long Fei's side. This made him feel a sense of danger, an intense sense of danger. All of the direct disciples of Long Zhanwu's sect lowered their heads, not daring to breathe too loudly. "Say something. Why are you all mute?" Long Zhanwu bellowed. One of the disciples said carefully, "Great clan elder, Long Fei is related to the people of the Heaven sect." "Huh? What did you say?" Long Zhanwu was shocked. Long Ao, who was still lying on the ground with feces continuously coming out from his mouth, gasped for breath and said, "Father, I wanted to tell you about this when I was in martial arts arena." Long Zhanwu's eyes turned sinister, and he shouted, "Then why don't you say anything?" Long Ao said in a low voice, "It's you who didn't let me say it." "Trash. You've lost all my face." Long Zhanwu no longer looked at Long Ao, but narrowed his eyes and said, "The Sky sect, huh? Long Fei, you must be trying to get yourself a big backer." His voice was colder, and his killing intent grew stronger. Long Zhanwu thought in his heart, "No matter who you climb up to, you must die tomorrow." At this moment, Long Zhanya hurried into the courtyard. Long Zhanwu slightly said, "All of you go down first. Remember, you must kill Long Fei in the arena tomorrow." After those disciples left, Long Zhanya immediately stepped forward and said, "Big brother, I just received a message from the 3 great families and the Imperial family. They will be personally present at the Long family's arena tomorrow." Long Zhanwu's expression became serious, frowned, and said, "Because of Long Fei?" Long Zhanya said, "The entire city knows about Long Fei killing the 5-level monster. A piece of trash turning into a genius, and with that dragon's roar last time, they are worried." At this time, Long Zhanwu's expression became ugly, and he said in shock, "Are you saying that the dragon god blood lineage in Long Fei's body has recovered? If that's the case," thinking about Long Fei's arrogant and rampant appearance today, Long Zhanwu felt that Long Fei must have recovered his dragon god blood lineage. Otherwise, where did he get the confidence to challenge him? Long Zhanya said, "The 3 pillars and the Imperial family also want to confirm this matter. If Long Fei were to recover the dragon god's blood lineage, then our situation would be even worse. The dragon god blood lineage was a dragon god warrior. Apart from the Grand Elder, he was the only one who could command the Long family's army. The Long family army didn't have any military talismans. They only listened to the orders of the Grand Elder or the dragon god's soldiers. Once Long Fei regained his status as a dragon god warrior, his power would be immense. Give the order, the dragon cavalry would rush to the Fire Glass City in the shortest time possible, but he wouldn't be able to stop them at all. Long Zhanya said in a low voice, "Big brother, do you want Killer at Failure Alliance to make a move? Deal with Long Fei tonight." No. Long Zhanwu immediately denied it and said, "The Long family's cavalry will need at least 5 days to return to the Long family, and there are too many things that can be changed in 5 days. I want Long Fei to die on the arena, and I want everyone in the Long family to think that he is trash again, a trash who cannot get up, and to make the Long family lose hope in him. If he dies in the arena, everyone in the Long family will despise him. This time, I will make it so that he will never be able to turn over his body." Long Zhanwu's voice was sinister as he whispered something into Long Zhanya's ear. After Long Zhanya finished listening, his eyes shook and he said, "I'll go do it right away." After taking a few steps, Long Zhanya turned around and said, "Big brother, the Killer from Failure Alliance did not come back. Whether he is dead or alive is still unknown." Long Zhanwu didn't think much of it and said, "She's just a low-leveled killer. There's no need to care about her life." Long Zhanya replied, "Got it. Jojo, I'm back." The first thing Long Fei did when he came out of the training grounds was to go home and see Jojo. In these 3 days, the person he was most concerned about was Jojo. Hearing the voice, Jojo immediately ran out, and with a smile on her face, she smiled sweetly and said, "Young master, you're back? I've prepared dinner for you." She silently watched what was happening in the martial arts arena from a corner. Every time she saw Long Fei being forced to the edge of a cliff, her heart would always throb in pain. She hated herself for not being able to help Long Fei. She was sorry she couldn't do anything. In the past 3 days, she had followed Long Fei's instructions and continuously tried to cultivate, but she could not. He simply could not sense the spirit energy flowing between heaven and earth, and he could not absorb the pubes into the true breath. She felt like the stupidest, most useless person in the world. There was a smile on his face, but he covered it up extremely well, not letting Long Fei notice it in the slightest. Long Fei laughed. "Jojo treats me the best. You've starved me to death. I want to eat 10 bowls. Ha ha." Jojo also laughed and said, "I'll bring you food." A cozy dinner was over. Long Fei made sure that there were no Long Zhanwu's people around before he said, "I'm going out for a while. Stay at home and wait for me to come back." Jojo nodded obediently and said, "And..." Half an hour later, Long Fei came to the Fengyuan Merchant Union. Looking at Long Fei, Zhao Er's eyes filled with admiration. "Young Master Long, you're simply too cool. Even the 5-level monster were killed by you. You're too powerful. From today onwards, you're my Zhao Er's idol." Long Fei smiled and said, "I'll first brew a cup of holy tea for this idol. No, it's a pot." This time, Zhao Er surprisingly cooperated and said, "Elder Lu guessed that you were coming and told me to prepare." When Lu Feng heard this, he also walked down from the pavilion. Laughing, he said, "Brother Long, you really don't reveal your true colors. You even killed a peak level 5 beast. F***CK. News travels really fast. I wanted to keep a low profile. Sigh. A handsome person will never be able to keep a low profile." Long Fei said shamelessly. While they were talking, the two of them entered the backyard. Lu Feng said, "What do you want this time?" Long Fei went straight to the point. The true pill have 100 sets of spiritual herbs, and the healing pills have 100 sets of spiritual herbs. I will need them immediately. Lu Feng said, for tomorrow's arena battle? Long Fei said, Amen. In these 3 days, I have used up all the true pill and healing pellets in Firewolf Valley, so Long Zhanwu will definitely not let me off during tomorrow's arena battle. I need to prepare well. Lu Feng shouted, Xiao Er, bring the things over. Then, Lu Feng laughed. I have long prepared it for you, but I would like to ask, can you really refine true pill? Long Fei downed a cup of holy tea and said, Yes, but the success rate is not high, only 50%. Cough, cough, cough. Cough, cough, cough. Lu Feng coughed rapidly, his face flushed red, as though he had been provoked by something. How high do you think the success rate is? Long Fei drank another cup of holy tea and said, 50%. Huh? Old Lu, is your heart feeling uncomfortable again? No, my liver hurts. Lu Feng really wanted to die. He was also an alchemy master, and he had refined pills for dozens of years, but he did not even have a 10% success rate when refining true pill. Even a profound rank alchemy master could not even reach 50%. To be able to achieve a success rate of 50%, he simply didn't want to live anymore. It was really deadly. Chapter 50, Help Me. Chapter 50, Help Me. After obtaining the spirit grass, Long Fei did not want to stay any longer. One night was too short. He still had a lot of things to do. However, Lu Feng stopped him and asked in a low voice, Brother Long, tell me the truth. Has your dragon god blood lineage recovered? Huh? Dragon god blood lineage? Long Fei asked doubtfully. Why do you ask that? Lu Feng said, Not only me, the entire Fireglass City has guessed that your dragon god blood lineage has recovered. 3 pillars, the entire Nangong royal family thinks that your blood lineage has recovered. And how would you dare to challenge Long Zhanwu? Tell me the truth. I promise I won't tell anyone. Have you recovered? Long Fei smiled mysteriously and said, Guess. Lu Feng muttered, My guess is that you must have recovered. If not, how could your alchemy technique be so easy to succeed? It must be because of the dragon god's blood essence. I heard that the dragon god blood lineage S are supreme blood lineage S, whether in terms of martial arts or alchemy. The runes all have a strong supporting ability, able to allow one to soar into the sky. Before you entered the Firewolf Valley, you were only a master in battle, but now you have reached the war spirit realm. Is it not because of the dragon god's blood essence? Dragon god blood lineage, supreme. He was the leader of the 10 great blood lineage in God's martial continent. Those who possess this kind of blood lineage are all peerless geniuses in the martial Tao. Regardless of cultivation or anything else, he would be able to comprehend the profound mysteries, the true meaning, and the speed at which it happened. Long Fei had changed a lot recently. He couldn't help but think that the dragon god blood lineage in his body had recovered. Otherwise, how could there be such a huge change? What happened today in the martial arts arena proved this point even more. Long Fei sneered in his heart. Is the dragon god's blood essence that powerful? Even blood lineage that is 10,000 times stronger than the dragon god's blood essence can't defeat my striking system. Dragon god's blood lineage is nothing. Striking system is the way of the king. This is what I rely on the most. Long Fei laughed. You'll know tomorrow. Huh. Lu Feng was startled for a moment, then laughed. You still want to keep me in suspense? All right, I won't ask anymore. However, tomorrow, the Zhuge family of the Divine, the Li martial arts sect, Prince Nangong, and the Nangong Imperial clan will personally come to your Long family to watch the stage. Their goal is very simple. They just want to know if you have truly recovered the dragon god's blood essence. Long Fei's heart sank and said coldly, "You want to drain my blood essence again and shatter my pubes?" Lu Feng said, "I'm afraid that I won't let you off so easily this time." "Thank you, Elder Lu." "At the same time, help me thank your pavilion master." Long Fei hugged his fists, then quickly left. He didn't think that the Long family's yearly family exam would attract so many people. Assassination by the Three Pillars family and the royal family. Now that I killed the 5-level monster and made them fearful, if I were to recover the dragon god's blood essence, would they join hands to assassinate me again? Was it them last time? Long Fei clenched his fists tightly and thought in his heart, 3 pillars, Nangong Royal, wash your ass and wait for me to explode. I will not let any of you go. After Long Fei left, in the pavilion of the Fengyuan Merchant Union, Lu Feng said respectfully, "Miss, he seems to know that you were the one who arranged for the disciples of the Heaven Sect to enter the Fire Wolf Valley to protect him." Fu Xishan did not answer, but believed that Long Fei had guessed it, and she did not intentionally hide it either. Long Fei knew that it was better, as she would remember the kindness of the Fengyuan Merchant Union, but right now she was not interested in any of it, so she looked at He Yi and muttered, "Did he really recover the dragon god's blood essence?" Lu Feng didn't know how to reply to that for a moment. Fu Xishan's brows slightly twitched and said, "Elder Lu, go and arrange something. I'll go to the Long family's residence tomorrow." "Huh." Lu Feng trembled and said, "Miss, I'm afraid this is not good. The rules of the Fengyuan Merchant Union—" Fu Xishan interrupted. "I know the rules of the Fengyuan Merchant Union. I'm just going to take a look. I don't want to interfere in the affairs of the Long family." Lu Feng immediately asked, "Should I inform Black Elder?" Fu Xishan said, "Do as you please." Sky Sect, Fireglass City Branch. Elda Senior Sister, I just received news that the 3 Pillars and the royal family will be going to the Long family to watch the arena fights tomorrow. Xiao Tian walked into the house and said, Yixian laughed, "What, watching the arena battle? They just want to know if Long Fei has recovered the dragon god's blood essence. If he has, they can carry out a second assassination." Xiao Tian was shocked. "Then what do we do? Isn't Long Fei in danger?" "No way. I have to protect him." This time, Yixian and Xiao Tian were in unison. Yixian said, "I will go too." Xiao Tian walked to Lu Luoshi's side and asked, "Big Senior, what about you?" Lu Luoshi had seen Long Fei's true strength before, and she understood in her heart that Long Fei's strength did not need their protection. But in just a short day that they had not met, she had been thinking about Long Fei in her heart. Huff! Lu Luoshi exhaled and said, "Go." "Yay! Long live Big Senior." Xiao Tian jumped up in joy and clenched her little fist, saying, "Tomorrow, if anyone dares to bully that bastard, I'll definitely teach them a lesson." Yixian joked, "Little junior sister apprentice, you're thinking of spring." "Ah." Xiao Tian's face immediately flushed red. "No way, no way. That bastard can only be bullied by us. No one else will allow him. Back home." "Jojo!" Long Fei shouted. There was no response from the courtyard. Long Fei was shocked in his heart and shouted even louder, "Jojo!" "Young master!" A voice came out from the hall. Jojo was sitting inside, and beside her was a woman with a veil covering her face. Killer at Failure Alliance. Long Fei released his wind shadow step and rushed to the hall in the blink of an eye. He stared at the female assassin and asked, "Do you know the consequences of provoking me? If you touch her, you won't be able to get out of here today." Anger raged. Jojo was his reverse scale. No one could touch him. Anyone who touched it would die. The female assassin said coldly, "Oh, I thought you didn't have a weakness, but it turns out that your weakness is her." Jojo said anxiously, "Young master, I'm fine. She didn't do anything to me." Long Fei looked at Jojo's body and confirmed that there were no injuries on his body. He then looked at the female assassin and said, "You only want my life." "No way," Jojo immediately said. "Don't hurt my young master. If you want to kill me, then do it." Long Fei frowned and said coldly, "I already said if you touch her once, you will die here. Your target is me, so come and kill me." Jojo started to cry anxiously. Suddenly, the female assassin moved like a ghost. Her ice sword moved, attacking Xiang Longfei's forehead. Jojo exclaimed, "No!" Long Fei stood in place without moving an inch. Han Jian was still half a centimeter away from his forehead when he stopped. The female assassin was slightly shocked as she asked, "Are you not afraid of death?" Long Fei said straightforwardly, "I'm afraid. I'm more afraid of death than anyone else, but she's my everything, and her life is much more important than mine. She's just a small maid, but she's a little pretty. Is it worth it for you to risk your life to protect her?" The female assassin sounded puzzled. Long Fei said without hesitation, "It's worth it." Because Jojo was the first person who treated him well when he came to this world. She was willing to offer up her precious body for him. From that moment onwards, Long Fei swore to protect this silly girl even if he had to die. Drip, drip, drip. Blood suddenly dripped from the female assassin's sleeve. Long Fei was secretly shocked. "You're injured?" The female assassin's body shook slightly. The cold sword fell out of her hands. Her eyes became blurry. She directly fell into Xiang Longfei's embrace and pleaded, "Save me." Chapter 51. Table of Contents. Chapter 51. Table of Contents. "Quick, save them." Long Fei shouted. He discovered that there was a sword wound on the female assassin's chest. The sword had penetrated her body, and the wound was extremely severe. Jojo also immediately recovered. "First help her clean her wounds, and I'll concoct a healing pill." Now that he didn't have a single healing pill, he could only concoct it immediately. A few minutes later, a highest grade medicine powder was out of the furnace and quickly handed it over to Jojo. Long Fei wanted to go in and take a look, but he was blocked outside by Jojo and said, "Young master, what she injured is her chest. If a man like you sees it, how can she face others in the future?" "Huh." Long Fei looked through the gap in the door and coincidentally saw half of the female assassin's chest. "Damn, it's so big." "Young master," Jojo stomped his feet in anger. Long Fei quickly ran out. The top-quality bamboo shoot type beast is simply too savage. Following that, Long Fei took care of the qi in his body to calm himself down, and then began to refine the healing pills. He felt more and more that there would be a fierce battle waiting for him tomorrow. Ding! Refining is a success. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining a highest grade medicine powder. Gained 100 experience points, 10 true breath points, and 10 points as a reward. Ding! Congratulations, player! The highest grade medicine powder, S, were now completely easy for Long Fei. However, true pill success rate was still not high. Long Fei still only had a success rate of 50%, but he secretly felt that there was a problem with the spirit herb formula. It was not that the pill formula Lu Feng gave him was wrong, but there seemed to be some spirit herbs within the spirit herbs that could restrain him, causing Long Fei to be unable to find them. He could only refine the pill according to the method he had used before. Midnight passed. Ding! Refining is a success. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for raising your alchemy to its current level of yellow rank level 6. Obtain 500 experience points, 50 true breath, and 50 points as a reward. Young master, she's awake. She's awake. Jojo suddenly ran out and shouted. Long Fei inspected the pellets and found that there was enough for tomorrow. He also walked into the room and said, Jojo, stay away from her. He had no choice but to be on guard. In the beginning, Long Fei seemed to not have moved, but he had already activated his King Kong shield S, so even if she stabbed down with her sword, she would not be able to harm Long Fei. Long Fei was not an idiot. How could he give up his life for nothing? Jojo said, Young master, she did not attack you just now, much less now. She was just so kind. No matter what other people did to her, she would always think highly of them. Even if they wanted to kill her earlier, she wouldn't hold a grudge. Jojo was too simple and kind. Long Fei walked to the side of the bed. The killer was still wearing his veil. Long Fei asked, I want to know who injured you? You were not injured in Firewolf Valley. This was very strange. Lu Luoshi did not chase after her. The female assassin knew her situation and hid nothing from Long Fei. She was my original master. Huh. Long Fei frowned. You said that Fireglass City has another killer at Failure Alliance? The female assassin said, Failure Alliance. He laughed self-deprecatingly and said, We are not killer at Failure Alliance at all. Entering the Failure Alliance is my lifelong goal. Not the killer at Failure Alliance. Are you guys fake? Long Fei asked. The female assassin said, We will impersonate the killer at Failure Alliance because we can get a very high price this way. Holy sh**T. What a clever way. Long Fei could not help but praise him and thought to himself, When are you going to act like the killer at Failure Alliance to earn some extra money? The female assassin smiled bitterly. I'm not afraid of your joke. This is the first time we are pretending to be the Failure Alliance because the price your great elder offered is too attractive. 50 million silver. 50 million? Fuck, Long Jean with that bastard. He really doesn't take the Long family's money seriously. Long Fei secretly clicked his tongue and asked, 50 million shouldn't be enough to invite you all to kill me, right? The female assassin said, They are on Long Zhanhai's side, but the plan has changed. Now, the 50 million bounty is being used on you alone. Long Zhanwu's condition is that you die in the arena. Long Fei laughed coldly. Truly ruthless. Do you want this daddy to die on the stage and be laughed at by the entire city? And then Long Fei asked, You still haven't told me how you were injured. The female assassin bit her lips and said, I wanted to give up the mission. Long Zhanwu ordered my master to kill me. I never thought that he would actually attack me. And fortunately, I escaped very quickly. They did not expect that I would flee to your place. Originally, I wanted to kill you to complete the mission, but I can't go back. Can you take me in? As long as I can survive, I'm willing to do anything, kill people, and set fires. I can do anything despicable and dirty things as long as I live. Long Fei smiled. Your master will let me die on the stage. What meaning do you have to follow me? A person who is about to die? You won't die. The female assassin looked at Long Fei seriously and said, I saw how you killed the large power King Kong ape. That kind of sword aura is unrivaled. Huh. Long Fei frowned. A trace of killing intent flashed past his eyes. The secret had been discovered. At this point in time, he would not trust anyone. Even a woman with a bamboo shoot-shaped chest wouldn't believe it. The female assassin felt the cold chi from Long Fei's body and immediately said, I did not say a single word, and I did not say the weapon you were holding either. There's more. My master will definitely think of a way to disguise himself as a disciple of the Long family to compete with you in the arena. He has a very sinister technique called the Conicaline method. It is an extremely vicious technique. A vortex of air will appear on his palms. Once it touches your nerves, it will temporarily paralyze you, and you will be killed in an instant. Long Fei's heart trembled, and said with a bland smile, "If you betray your master like this, and I accept you, will you betray me like this?" The female assassin was startled and looked into Long Fei's eyes. She said without hesitation, "Before I have my revenge, I will. I want to live. I want revenge. I don't even have my life left. How can I take revenge?" No concealment, because she knew she couldn't hide it from Long Fei. Jojo looked at the female assassin and said, "Young master, please take her in. Look at her. She is very pitiful. Her parents and family were all killed by someone." Long Fei laughed. "Do you really believe what she says?" Jojo muttered to herself, "She won't lie to me." Long Fei said, "I am not Jojo, and will not believe you just because of a few words. After the stage is over, I will decide whether you are going to stay or not." Actually, Long Fei had already decided. He needed someone who could do anything for him. However, Long Fei didn't believe her at the moment. After tomorrow, if what she said was true, Long Fei would let her stay. Furthermore, she was a top-grade bamboo shoot chest type beauty, a killer beauty. Chapter 52. All have come. Chapter 52. All have come as soon as the sky brightened. The Long family's martial arts practice field became lively. The disciples of the Long family and the famous aristocrats of the Fire Glass City rushed to the training grounds early in the morning. The huge martial arts practice field was so crowded that not even a drop of water could trickle through. The Long family hadn't been so lively today in decades. They were all here because of Long Fei, wanting to see if Long Fei had truly recovered the dragon god's blood essence. "Look, that's the peak rank 5 beast our young lord killed. His strength is unparalleled. He could easily kill a war spirit realm warrior. Our young lord could easily kill him. The genius young master is back." Long Shan and the others bragged whenever they saw anyone. Regardless if it was true or not, he had to build up momentum for Long Fei. Let his influence rise. The large Power King Kong ape's head was still placed in the middle of the training grounds, and anyone who entered would be able to see it immediately. He was even more certain about the matter of Long Fei recovering the dragon god blood lineage. Suddenly, Divine Marquis Zhuge has arrived. Zhuge Tianlong walked into the training grounds with a smile on his face. Behind him were a few Zhuge family disciples, Zhuge Jianxiang among them. He was Zhuge Tianlong's only son. He was also one of the young elites of the Fire Glass City, a person deeply admired and respected by the royal family. As Zhuge Jianxiang stepped into the martial arts arena, he could not help but sneer and said disdainfully, "This kind of low-level martial arts arena is really poor." Many of the Long family disciples were displeased. Zhuge Tianlong slightly said, "Chang'er, don't be so unruly. Just put some words in your heart. Why would you say them out loud?" He even added another stab. Zhuge Jianxiang laughed. "I will remember." Long Zhanya personally went up to welcome him and said, "The Divine Marquis has arrived. It's a long distance to welcome you." Zhuge Tianlong cupped his fists and said, "Brother Zhanyi, you are too courteous. We are only here to observe the disciples of the Long family today, and to let the disciples of the Zhuge family study properly. The Long family is a family that has existed in the Fire Glass City for tens of thousands of years, and the disciples of the Long family are all elites," Zhuge Jinxiang said. "Father, I will definitely learn properly, but I heard that the Long family has lost all of their talented people in these years, and they do not have any outstanding disciples." Long Zhanya frowned. Zhuge Tianlong laughed. "Brother Zhanyi, please forgive me for being so rude." Long Zhanya laughed. "It's all right. The Divine Marquis sighed. Please take your seat." "Many thanks." Zhuge Tianlong laughed and thought, "Long family? Even after 10,000 years? Humph. I don't think the day is far off." Zhuge Jinxiang also laughed. This is the Long family. They look like slaves. Just looking at me makes you want to laugh? And you think you can become one of the four pillars? Zhuge Tianlong slightly said, Don't underestimate the Long family. The true terrifying person of the Long family has yet to come out. Father, are you talking about the grand elder of the Long family? Zhuge Jinxiang said, I heard that the Long family's grand elder is in closed-door training to attack the War Master Reem. Even if the Long family were to collapse, he would not come out, so there's no need to be afraid of him. Furthermore, our Zhuge family already has that. Zhuge Tianlong glared at him. Zhuge Jinxiang immediately shut his mouth and did not say any more. Prince Nangong has arrived. Nangong Lei came. Look, it's Nangong Yen, Fire Glass City's #1 beauty. Too beautiful. How can there be such a beautiful woman in the world? Look at the young man beside her. Isn't Nangong Yen the fiancé of the Long family's young master? This is the Long family. They are so intimate with the Long family, and even more so, Long Fei. The martial arts arena began to discuss softly. The biggest Nangong Yen in the entire Fireglass City was Long Fei's fiancé. However, she was holding on to a man's arm as she walked into the Long family. Wasn't this insulting the Long family? Wasn't he bullying the Long family? Moreover, she had a look of deep affection on her face and was talking and laughing along the way. She didn't care about the Long family at all. This made many people of the Long family unhappy, but no one dared say anything. The Dragon Grand Elder had gone into closed-door cultivation. The acting clan chief Long Zhanhai had gone into closed-door cultivation. Great Elder Long Zhanwu had gone all out to deal with Long Fei, who would stand up for Long Fei at this time. Another slap on the Long family's face. Li martial arts sect. General Li has arrived. Li Chongtian brought the 2 rows of Li clan soldiers and entered the Long clan's residence. He was fully armed, as if he was going to the battlefield. This was like watching an arena war battle. This was using the Long family as a battlefield. Another slap on the face. The last to step up was the Nangong Imperial clan. Nangong, who did not come personally, but chose to send a prince, Nangong Shao. Some people greeted him at the martial arts practice field. Nangong Zhao's complacency could be seen from his words, and he said, This prince is only here to observe the arena fights. I'll just treat it as my normal identity. And then, after taking his seat, Nangong Shao coldly snorted and said, Long Zhanya, you don't even have a holy tea here? Long Zhanya's expression changed slightly as he said, Your Highness, we are indeed. F***CK. What kind of dog shit clan is this, and what kind of dog or cat family can become a 4 pillars family? Even the tea was of such low quality, the Long family. I think it's better to change your name to Dog. Nangong Shao said in disdain. Long Zhanya clenched his fists tightly. He was patiently enduring. He had come today to deal with Long Fei. There was nothing he could do. If it was the Long family at their peak, they would have long since moved their heads. The 3 Pillars family and the Nangong Imperial family all gave the Long family a ruthless slap. In the eyes of the outsiders in martial arts arena, the Long family had withered. The Long family's might was gone. Their talents were waning, and they were also fighting inside. On the surface, the Long family was no longer strong enough. This huge family that had existed for 10,000 years would disappear from this world. In the future, he definitely couldn't stand with the Long family. Otherwise, his fate would be very miserable. Many members of the Long family felt a ball of fire in their hearts. Since when had the Long family been so aggrieved? Long Zhanya was also extremely unhappy as he said to Long Zhanwu, This is going too far. Who do they think they are? Long Zhanwu did not care about all these, but asked, Is everyone ready? As long as he became the Long family's head, he believed that he would definitely be able to change the Long family. Long Zhanyan nodded his head. Everything has been prepared according to plan. The 16 disciples who are participating in the arena, other than Long Fei, are all our people. The killer has been arranged. All right. Long Zhanwu excitedly sneered. Long Fei, you're dead today. Suddenly, martial arts arena was in an uproar. The young lord is here. It was also at this time. Long Shan and the others changed into the armors of the Imperial Guards, and their dragon-shaped spears shook violently. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Asterisk with one step, he shook the ground and quickly suppressed the voice of the martial arts arena. He walked to Long Fei's side and knelt down heavily and shouted out loud, "Greetings, young master!" His voice shook the heavens. Chapter 53. This father is arrogant, crazy. Chapter 53. This father is arrogant, crazy. It was unknown whether it was because the 3 pillars and the royal family had suffered from humiliation at the Long family, or because Long Zhanwu had done nothing else, but at this moment, whoosh, 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 asterisk, whoosh, 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 asterisk, all the disciples of the Long family kneeled down as one and shouted together, "We greet the young master." This time, the sound was like thunder. The expressions of both the 3 pillars and the royal family trembled slightly. The one with the ugliest expression was Long Zhanwu. Both of his eyes turned sinister, his teeth chattering loudly. He stared at Long Fei, who was in the middle of the crowd, the killing intent in his heart growing even stronger. Long Fei was secretly shocked as well, and said calmly, "Get up. Thank you, young lord." Long Shan and the others shouted out again. The scene was as if they were inspecting the Long family's army. What a grand show of power. Zhuge Jianxiang said in disdain, "How much money did a mere waste of a pubes spend to win over the hearts of others?" It wasn't loud, but many people heard it. Long Shan immediately shouted, "Divine Marquis Zhuge, please take care of the people around you. If you dare to call our young lord useless, then don't blame us, the Long family's imperial guards, for being impolite." As soon as his voice faded, the Long family's imperial guards shouted in unison, "Ha!" The Long family's aura. Zhuge Jianxiang sneered and said, "Who do you think you are? I say, what happened to his trash? Isn't he a trash? The pubes has shattered, his veins and tendons are congealing, and even the dragon blood that your Long family is proud of has been sucked out. So what if this kind of person is not a trash?" Another insult. Long Shan's steel spear moved. Many of the Long family's guards also started to move. Zhuge Jianxiang laughed with even more contempt. "You want to bully him with numbers? Come, come, come. This young master wants to see the power of your bullshit dragon guards." It was also at this time Long Fei moved. He landed on the stage and pressed down on Long Shan, then turned and pointed at Zhuge Tianlong. "Zhuge Tianlong, why did you bring a dog to the Long family?" Zhuge Jianxiang was immediately angered. He stood up and bellowed, "Long Fei, who are you calling a dog?" Long Fei laughed. "I'm talking about you, Zhuge Jianxiang. I think you're courting death." Zhuge Jianxiang was enraged and leaped into the air, his body soaring as he threw a punch at Xiang Longfei. "Fierce tiger, roar mountain!" Roar. A tiger's roar sounded out. The wind from his fist was biting cold and full of strength. The crime of ambushing the Long family's young master is death. As soon as his voice faded, Long Fei leaped up and similarly flew into the air. His right arm moved. Mountain hit fist. Bam. He threw out a punch. Ding. Congratulations to player Long Fei for triggering the ability of the large power King Kong ape. The trigger had a 10% chance of being triggered. Rumble. The 2 fists collided. Kacha, kacha. Zhuge Jianxiang instantly fell to the ground as all the bones in his right arm shattered. He howled in pain like a pig being butchered. Ah, ah. Defeat in one move. The mountain hit fist was the large power King Kong ape's sacred art, a fifth-level heaven stage. How could Zhuge Jianxiang withstand the energy that was used to trigger the divine ability the instant he landed on the ground? Wind shadow step. Long Fei's body was like an illusion. He landed beside Zhuge Jianxiang, stepped on his chest, stared at Zhuge Tianlong, and said, ambushing the Long family's young master, "You deserve to die for your crimes." It was too fast. Incomparable dominance. Many people could not react in time. However, at this moment, the disciples of the Long family fiercely released their anger. Long Shan let out a loud roar. "Young lord is mighty." Zhuge Tianlong suddenly stood up, his eyes turned sinister as he bellowed, "Long Fei, you dare?" Long Fei laughed. "Your son ambushed me, or was he ambushing me in my Long family? Everyone saw that you, old dog Zhuge, are trying to deny it?" Zhuge Jianxiang trembled from the pain and scolded, "Long Fei, you dog, you dare to touch me?" "Pa!" A slap fell and directly caused Zhuge Jianxiang's eyes to shine with stars. Long Fei sneered and said, "Continue shouting." Zhuge Jianxiang's eyes were almost popping out as he stared at Long Fei and said, "Long Fei, my ass." "Pa!" With a backhand slap, Long Fei said, "Keep shouting for me." And every time he slapped her, he would only glance at Zhuge Tianlong. The slap on Zhuge Jianxiang's face was similar to the slap on Zhuge Tianlong's face. Zhuge Tianlong released the thick battle chi from his body. He was furious and said while gnashing his teeth, "Long Fei, don't be too arrogant." "Ha ha ha." Long Fei laughed loudly and said, arrogantly, "I am just this arrogant, just this arrogant. Old dog Zhuge, if you have the guts, bite me. I want to see whether it's you or me who is faster." While they were talking, Long Fei stepped on Zhuge Jianxiang's throat, and with just a little bit of force, he could break Zhuge Jianxiang's neck. Zhuge Jianxiang became terrified and shouted with difficulty, "Father, father, save me, save me." Zhuge Tianlong frowned and snorted, "Long Fei, what do you want?" Long Fei laughed, "Bow to my Long family and apologize." Slapping the Long family's face. Could anyone slap the Long family's face? The divine Marquis of Zhuge was arrogant. "If I can make you act so arrogantly in the Long family, then what is your father doing?" "Dad, quick, save me." Zhuge Jianxiang's face became paler and paler. He did not have much strength to speak, and his breathing became hurried. Zhuge Jianxiang looked at Nangong Shao. Nangong Shao carried the tea in his hand and began to taste it, completely ignoring Zhuge Tianlong, who had already walked in. It was the same for Nangong Lei and Li Chongtian. Zhuge Tianlong clenched his fists tightly. He then bowed and said faintly, "I will bring my son to apologize to the Long family." "What do you mean by bringing my son?" Long Fei sneered and said, "I want your Zhuge family of the divine, Ho, to apologize to the Long family." Zhuge Tianlong's eyes were filled with killing intent, and he shouted, "Long Fei, don't push your luck." Long Fei said arrogantly, "I am just pushing my luck too far. What can you do to me?" Finished. Exerting force with his legs, Zhuge Jianxiang fiercely struggled. Personal apologies and family apologies are two entirely different concepts. At the same time, what Long Fei wanted was not only an apology from the Long family that they had humiliated, but also an apology from the dead Long family disciples in Firewolf Valley. "Father, father." Zhuge Jianxiang was no longer able to speak, and his voice was stuck in his throat. Zhuge Tianlong's only son, his precious son, had to. Zhuge Tianlong bowed again and said, "The Zhuge family of the divine, Ho clan apologizes to your Long family." "Very good." Long Fei's legs loosened up, and then he kicked Zhuge Jianxiang heavily, sending him flying. Long Fei stared at the sky and muttered to himself, "Rest assured, this is only the beginning. I will take revenge for each and every one of you." Zhuge Tianlong immediately flew over to Zhuge Jianxiang's side and stared at his back. The killing intent in his heart had never been so strong. Long Fei stomped hard on the ground to save the Zhuge family's face. Everyone in the Long family felt their blood boiling. "It feels so good." At this moment, Long Shan raised his steel spear and roared, "The young master is mighty! The young master is mighty!" The whole of the Long family's disciples shouted, "Young master is mighty! Young master is mighty!" Everyone cheered. Even the people from the Long family were cheering. They were all too excited to not kill anyone. In the past few decades, the Long family finally had a chance to vent their anger. Chapter 54. Negative Activation to Dragon Blood. Chapter 54. Negative Activation to Dragon Blood. All these years, the Long family had been trampled under the feet of other three pillars. Talent wanes, power diminishes. Many people held their anger in. Long Fei vented it out for them, ruthlessly. This feeling was too great. Zhuge Tianlong's face turned green. He quickly fed his son a few healing pills. His eyes turned cold, but he did not leave the training field. Instead, he returned to his seat. He wanted to see what kind of waves Long Fei could create. After pausing for half a second, Long Zhanwu walked out facing a smile. He first gave a slight bow to Zhuge Tianlong and said, "Don't worry about the divine marquis that the Long family has offended. After all, every family has their own savage and ignorant man." What did he just say? Kneeling and licking the divine marquis of Zhuge, Long Shan and the others were in a bad mood. It was just that, without waiting for them to speak. Long Zhanwu turned and looked at the training grounds and said loudly, "You all know the rules of the arena fights well, so I will not repeat them again. This year is different from previous years. Before we begin the arena battle, we will need to test your gifted vein." As soon as his voice faded, many people from martial arts arena were confused. How come I didn't have one before? It's not good to test the gifted vein in front of outsiders, right? Great Elder, are you targeting young Master Long Fei? Right now, the entire city is saying that young Master Long Fei has recovered the Dragon God's blood essence. The reason you tested him like this is to confirm whether he has recovered the power of a blood lineage or not, right? Discussions broke out. Long Fei's brows sank. Long Zhanwu slightly smiled. "I am not targeting anyone. It's for the sake of better nurturing you in the future." Of course. If you reject the gifted vein test, then it's fine, but the qualification to participate in the arena competition will be canceled automatically. Long Fei, as the young master of the Long family, you won't reject us, right? Long Zhanwu looked at the cold smile on Long Fei's face and directly forced Long Fei to the edge of the cliff. The intention behind this move was extremely sinister. Long Shan said loudly, "First Elder, you clearly knew that the young master's Dragon God blood essence had been extracted, but you still wanted him to test the blood lineage in front of so many people. Are you trying to humiliate the young master again?" Exactly. If you want to test for blood lineage, you don't need to do so today. The people from the three pillars and the royal family are here. Isn't testing them again just to humiliate the young master? Long Zhanwu simply did not pay any attention to them. He continued to look at Long Fei, a pleased cold smile hanging on his face as he said to himself, "If there was no Dragon God blood lineage, you would have been humiliated once again. And if there was a Dragon God blood lineage, you would have died in the arena. Long Fei, no matter what choice you make, your fate would not have escaped death." Right now, Long Fei had no other choice. Reject, disqualify. Long Zhanwu would immediately remove him from the position of young master. Accepted. Long Fei was very clear in his heart that there was no dragon god blood lineage at all. The result of the examination would only make Long Zhanwu laugh and cause the disciples of the Long family to feel heartbroken. Let the people of Three Pillars and the royal family and even the entire Fireglass City laugh at him. To test for blood lineage inherent skill was to sprinkle salt on his wounds. Long Fei clenched his fists tightly under his sleeves and then loosened them and said faintly, "I accept." Crash! The entire audience was in an uproar. He actually accepted it. Nangong Zhao's expression shook and revealed a sneer of contempt. Seems like this Long Fei isn't that great after all. Li Chongtian also laughed. Indeed, it's not much. Even such a request would be accepted. Even a fool would know to reject it. This Long Zhanwu is really not bad. To actually test Long Fei's blood lineage inherent skill in front of us. Isn't this exposing Long Fei's inherent skill right in front of our eyes? Nangong lay squinted his eyes and stared at Long Fei, muttering, "Accepted the examination. Could it be that he really has recovered his dragon god blood lineage?" At this moment, Nangong Yen also became slightly nervous. She hoped in her heart that Long Fei would never recover his dragon god blood lineage. Definitely not. Long Shan anxiously asked, "Young master, why do you have to accept such unreasonable requests?" Long Zhanwu revealed a proud smile and said, as expected of the Long family's young master, full of courage, "It has begun." Not giving Long Fei the chance to regret, a space immediately opened up in the middle of the martial arts practice grounds. Detecting black stone moved out. Long Zhanwu immediately read out the name, "Dragon Lin." Long Lin immediately walked out of the crowd and said, "Here." "Huh." Long Shan felt that something was wrong and loudly said, the points for the first round of the Dragon Forest was only 10 points. How did he enter the second round? Dragon Lin only had 10 points, which meant that he didn't have the qualifications to enter the second round of the arena competition. Long Zhanwu laughed. "I forgot to tell you, he is replacing Long Hai." Long Shan shouted, "I protest." Long Zhanwu sneered and said, "Who do you think you are?" The protest was futile, and Long Lin will go up to inspect. He was the Grand Elder. Right now, he could control the entire Long family with one hand and do anything he wanted. Changing the rules of the arena and arranging for one's own disciples to enter the competition was nothing. Long Fei held on to Long Shan, shook his head, and said, "It's useless." Long Shan said, "Young chieftain, I suspect that the 16 arena fights are all the disciples of the Grand Elder other than you. In other words, it's too despicable of you to fight against 15 people." Long Fei was mentally prepared for this outcome, no matter what. His goal today was to destroy Long Zhanwu. Dragon Forest, 3rd level War Spirit, Dragon Blood activation, 40 points. Long Tai, 3rd level War Spirit, Dragon Blood activation, 42 points. Long Yao, War Spirit of the 4th level, Dragon Blood activation, 44 points. The 16 disciples stepped forward one by one to examine him. Long Fei observed every single disciple very carefully. He was looking for the killer. Suddenly, Long Fu, War Spirit of the 5th level, Dragon Blood activation, 50 points. Long Fei's gaze tightened, and the corner of his mouth slightly lifted as he thought in his heart, "I guess it's you." He didn't show it on the surface. Next, Long Fei. When Long Fei's name was called, the entire audience suddenly went silent. They all stretched their necks to look at him, and quite a few people in the VIP seats stood up. Will it recover the Dragon God's blood essence? I think he has definitely recovered. Otherwise, How could he kill a peak rank 5 beast? I think he's recovered too. Apart from the discussions of outsiders, the disciples of the Long family were also discussing, young master must have recovered the dragon god's blood essence. He must be a dragon god warrior. Young lord, you can do it. As long as he recovers the dragon god's blood essence and becomes a dragon god warrior again, he will be able to control the Long family's army and become the divine dragon marquis of the future. Definitely. Their hearts were filled with anticipation. He was filled with confidence. The Long family urgently needed someone to stand up for them, and more importantly, they needed their dragon god warriors. Hearing the discussion of the Long family disciples, Long Fei's heart sank, and he slowly walked forward. Activate the true breath to the center of the palm, press it onto the black stone, and then squeeze out a bit of blood. At this moment, Long Fei could only do it. The true breath was activated, and the black stone started to shine. His cultivation was out. The person loudly muttered, "Long Fei, first-level war spirit." A drop of his blood essence fell onto the black stone. Black stone absorbed the blood essence slowly. There was no reaction after half a minute. Dragon blood activation. 0. Chapter 55. Arena match start. Chapter 55. Arena match start. Boom. It was like a clap of thunder. The bodies of those Long clan disciples trembled, and a few of them even fell to the ground. Their eyes glazed over as they said, "No, no, impossible." Young master's cultivation has already recovered, so it's impossible for his dragon blood activation to be 0. The black stone must be broken. That must be the case. Young master, test it again. To the disciples of the Long family who placed their hopes on Long Fei, it was like a bolt out of the blue. The hope in his heart instantly collapsed. What did 0 points in dragon blood activation mean? This meant that not even the tiniest bit of dragon blood had been restored, and it wasn't even as talented as the most ordinary disciples of the Long family. He might not be able to recover in this lifetime. In other words, Long Fei would never be able to become a dragon god warrior in his entire life. Despair. Even Long Shan was a little unsteady on his feet. Looking at the calm face of Long Fei, he asked, "How could this happen? How could this?" "Ha ha, ha ha." Long Zhanwu started laughing crazily without restraint, without any concealment. Negative activation to dragon blood, negative activation to dragon blood. Ha ha. Long Fei. Even the Long family's dogs aren't limited to negative activation to dragon blood. You don't even have one. Ha ha. You still want to become a dragon god warrior with this kind of behavior. Go eat **T. Laugh. He smiled complacently. Long Zhanwu finally released the anger that he had suppressed in his heart during this period of time. At the time of Long Fei's test, he was also worried that Long Fei's dragon god blood essence would recover. But now he didn't have to worry at all. Long Zhanwu's disciples all loudly laughed at him. Dragon god warriors? Bullshit. Long Fei, you're just a piece of trash from start to finish. Ha ha ha. Negative activation to dragon blood, there's no chance at all. From what I see, you are not even a descendant of the Long family. You must have picked up some bastard somewhere. Ha ha ha. A loud taunt. They too let out a vicious breath in their hearts. Apart from them, she said with a cold and disdainful smile, "A trash will always be a trash. Father, there's no need to continue watching. This kind of trash is not worthy to be my Nangong Yan's husband. He will be mocked by the entire world." Her eyes looked at Long Fei, her eyes filled with contempt and scorn. At this moment, at the same time, she was thinking about how could she break the engagement with this trash. Ha! It was all for nothing to worry about. As expected, Long Fei is still that trash Long Fei. Nangong Xiao laughed and said, there is no longer a need to watch the arena fights anymore. Li Chongtian also secretly heaved a sigh of relief and laughed. I had thought that Long Fei had recovered the dragon god's blood essence. I hadn't thought that it would actually be negative activation to dragon blood. Zhuge Tianlong laughed coldly and said, there is only one possibility for this activation rate. Long Fei is a bastard child that I picked up. Nangong Lei also heaved a sigh of relief, revealing a faint smile. Amongst the crowd, Fu Xishan frowned. She couldn't understand either. Why is it like this? Lu Feng was even more confused and was unable to understand Long Fei. If he did not recover the dragon god's blood essence, how did he refine a true pill? And how did he refine a top-grade talisman? What the hell is going on? It was too difficult to understand. Long Shan walked to Long Fei's side and anxiously asked, young master, it can't be like this. Testing again. Maybe the test results for the black stone are bad. Long Fei shook his head and laughed. There's no need. Long Zhanwu laughed proudly. Long Fei, do you want to test it again? We have a lot of time. So even if you want to test us 100 times, it won't be a problem. Ha ha ha. Negative activation to dragon blood is really too funny. Tell me, how did you still have the face to stay in the Long family? If it's me, I'll just knock my head against the wall and die. Long Fei frowned. His fists clenched tightly as he said, Long Zhanwu, your talent test is complete. Can we start the competition now? In the Long family, dragon blood activation was extremely important. It is talent. Everything. Without dragon blood activation, he would be sentenced to death and would be unable to turn over his entire body in this lifetime. To the people of the other clans, the disciples of the Long family who did not have dragon blood activation were simply trash for the rest of their lives. But dragon god blood essence, the supreme blood lineage, to Long Fei, they were just a joke. Dragon god's blood essence was nothing compared to the striking system. It was not even a fart. Long Fei was very calm. His heart was not affected at all. In the face of the surrounding ridicule, contempt, and disappointment of some people, he was unperturbed. As a living person, this kind of bearing could still be obtained. Furthermore, this allowed him to clearly see the face of many people, such as his fiancée, Nangong Yen. Wait and see. Long Fei laughed coldly in his heart. Long Zhanwu said, do you really not need to go through the test again? Long Fei, you can try to test it again. Maybe you can increase the activation rate by 1 point this time. Ha ha ha. Is it funny? The anger in Long Fei's heart roiled about. Long Zhanwu said loudly, of course it's funny. Don't you see how happy I am smiling? And then Long Zhanwu lowered his voice and said, a trash like you with negative activation to dragon blood dares to challenge me. You don't even have the qualifications. Look, the Zhuge family, the Li family, Prince Nangong, and the royal family are all laughing because of you. Trash. The Long family's face has been completely thrown away by you. If I were you, I would have killed myself long ago. Long Fei's gaze tensed up. Long Fei, don't blame me for not reminding you. You are in a hurry to leave the Long family right now. When the stage starts, you will die. This is your last chance. Long Zhanwu looked at Long Fei with a complacent expression. In his heart, Long Fei no longer had the qualifications to fight with him. The disciples of the Long family were disappointed and dejected. It was even more impossible to control the Long family's army. Long Fei had already been kicked out of the Long family competition. What right did he have to fight him? As long as he could get rid of Long Fei and get rid of him, then he would be the divine dragon marquis of the Long family, the master of the Long family. At that time, thinking of this, Long Zhanwu started to laugh maniacally in his heart. Long Fei raised his eyes and laughed. Are you afraid? Afraid? What a joke. Would I be afraid of a negative activation to dragon blood scandal? Long Zhanwu sneered. You're too arrogant and conceited. Since I gave you a chance to live, and you don't know how to cherish it, then... Suddenly, Long Zhanwu's voice sank, and he shouted, the competition arena will now begin. As soon as his voice faded, the entire venue quieted down. First round, Long Fei versus Dragon Forest. Disciples, please step forward. Long Lin jumped onto the stage with a disdainful sneer on his face and said, Long Fei, step on stage and die. At this moment, only Long Shan and a few guards were by Long Fei's side. Young Master, the Dragon Forest is at the level of Level 3 War Spirit. You must be careful. Chapter 56. Who's next? Chapter 56. Who's next? Level 1 Cultivation. Success. If he wanted to kill someone stronger than him, it would be too difficult. Amongst the 16 disciples, Long Fei was the weakest, having a war spirit of the first level. The other 15 were all above him. In the beginning, they still had fear in their hearts, but the blood test results made them feel a sense of superiority, so they no longer had to be afraid of Long Fei. Come up and die, waste. The Dragon Forest was extremely arrogant. As long as he killed Long Fei, he would be able to reap the rewards. Naturally, Long Zhanwu would not lose out to him, and his status in the Long family would also rise in the future. When he thought about this, Long Tian's heart was elated. An even more pleased, cold smile surfaced on his face, and he said, Long Fei, if you're afraid, kneel down and kowtow and beg for mercy. This daddy will happily spare your pathetic life. Ha ha ha. The corner of Long Fei's mouth curved up as he sneered. Slowly walking onto the stage, Long Fei said slightly, I'll give you a chance. As long as you scold Long Zhanwu as an old dog, I'll spare your life. Long Lin's face turned sinister. His hands formed claws and shouted, Long Fei, insult the great clan elder. Today you're dead. 2 claws struck. The aura of a 3rd-level war spirit was released. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Asterisk, a few scratches appeared in the air and directly attacked Long Fei's throat. Long Fei stood in place without moving an inch. What happened to him? Has he gone mad? Young Master, be careful. He must have been scared silly. No matter how strong a Level 1 war spirit is, it's impossible for a Level 3 war spirit to be a match, not to mention that Long Fei is even a waste of negative activation to dragon blood. In everyone's hearts, Long Fei was bound to lose. There was no suspense at all. However, just as Long Lin's right hand was about to lock onto Long Fei's throat, Long Fei raised both his eyes slightly, moved his right arm, and ordered, Mountain hit fist. Bam! He punched out. It was like a mountain had been split open. A dull power was released, and a fist smashed onto Long Lin's right claw. Crack! The joints were broken and turned into powder. Long Lin gave a pitiful cry as he hastily retreated. Wind shadow step. Whoosh! His body moved, instantly appearing behind Long Lin, the corner of his mouth raised, revealing the smile of a god of death. He cupped his fists and suddenly jumped up, mountain hit fist. He leapt into the air like a large power King Kong ape possessed. The posture was exactly the same as the large power King Kong ape. Hugging his fists, he smashed them down heavily. It crashed onto the top of Long Lin's head. Rumble, rumble, rumble. There was a silent explosion of force in the air, like the explosion of a building. Dragon Lin's head split open, all the bones in his body fractured, blood spewed out, and he fell to the ground, dead. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for killing Dragon Forest for obtaining 800 experience. 80 true breath, and 10 energy values. The system beep rang. Long Fei kicked Long Lin's corpse flying, then walked to the center of the stage and coldly stared at Long Zhanwu and said, "Again." Long Zhanwu was unable to react in time. Not just him. There were a few people who did not react in time. The level 3 war spirit, Long Lin, died just like that. It was too fast. There was simply no reaction at all. How did Long Fei actually kill him? 2 punches? Just what kind of cultivation technique could have such powerful strength? How did a first-level war spirit kill a third-level war spirit? Confusion. Shock. Too powerful. The fire in Long Shan's heart started burning up once again. He shouted out excitedly, "Young master is mighty." The 3 pillars and the royal family were also shocked. Nangong Xiao asked with doubt, "How did Long Lin die?" Zhuge Tianlong muttered, "Mysterious steps, quick movements, coupled with his probably earth stage or higher cultivation technique. The power unleashed killed Long Lin." Li Chongtian also said in shock, "I never thought that Long Fei would actually have such explosive strength." Amongst the crowd, Lu Feng muttered to himself, "Wind Shadow Step, this, wasn't this the martial skill from the previous auction? How can he be so fast? What cultivation technique is this?" Fu Xishan asked. Lu Feng said honestly, "Last auction, there was a set of martial skill steps that was not appraised, and then Long Fei bought it. Miss, what rank do you think was the martial skill he used?" Fu Xishan slightly said, "It's at least an Earth Stage Level 8 cultivation technique." My God, he only spent 1 million to buy an Earth Grade 8 martial skill. Lu Feng said as his liver trembled, "Coincidence? It must be a coincidence." Long Zhanwu was secretly shocked, but he was not worried at all. He did not hold hope for the 3rd stage war spirit's Long Lin. Looking at Long Fei, who was still standing on the stage, he asked suspiciously, "What did you say just now?" Long Fei laughed. "Long Zhanwu, didn't you just want to kill me? Come. There are still 14 more. Let them come." Long Zhanwu was still a little confused. He asked, "Are you saying that you want to challenge all the remaining participants?" Long Fei laughed. "This will save the trouble." As soon as he finished speaking, the entire arena was shocked. "Is he crazy? Aren't you being too arrogant? Young master, don't mess around." "Ha ha ha. You are so arrogant after killing a mere level 3 war spirit. Do you really think you are a dragon god warrior?" Shock. Long Fei was stupid. A challenger with a cultivation of war spirit of the 1st rank challenging 14 people. He is courting death. Nangong Yen disdainfully said, "He's so arrogant just by killing a dragon forest. If not, wouldn't he be called trash? In my opinion, he's not even trash. Dad, no matter what, I won't marry someone like him." Nangong Yen looked down on Long Fei with all his might. From her point of view, Long Fei's actions were simply courting death. Nangong Xiao laughed. "Little sister Yen, don't worry, he will die on the stage soon. He won't have a life to marry you." Arrogant, too arrogant. However, Long Zhanwu began to laugh and said, "All right, this is your own choice, so you can't blame me for it." As soon as the words left his mouth, "Next, I'll do it," a silhouette suddenly moved and jumped onto the arena. But, without waiting for him to land on the ground, Long Fei moved his wind shadow step and kicked out. Bam! That person was kicked and sent flying more than 10 meters away. He was hanging on the roof as blood spewed out of his mouth. His body twitched a few times before he died. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei. The system beep sounded again. Long Fei's gaze did not move at all. Who's next? I'll do it. This time, the disciple was smarter. He didn't fly up onto the stage, and instead walked step by step onto it. It was also at this time Level 4 War Spirit. Long Fei made a weird noise in his throat as he activated the power of the toting skill. Dragon Temple coldly snorted. Trash. Before he could even finish his second word, Long Fei suddenly appeared in front of him. Bam! It landed directly on the Dragon Temple's 2 ears. Bam! Buffed. Blood spurted out from his mouth as his body slowly fell to the ground. Long Fei kicked him and sent him flying, yelling arrogantly, "Continue!" Chapter 57. F *CK. Who else is there? Chapter 57. F *CK. Who else is there? Just as he was worrying that there was no place for his striking energy value to increase, he was just worrying about not having a place to level up. Long Fei simply would not let anyone go, because to him, Long Zhanwu's disciples were all experience, true breath and energy values. How could he miss it? Are there any monsters in the game that I can kill? Are you going to level up or not? Is there a treasure that won't explode? Then what's the difference between this and an idiot? After killing 3 people consecutively, Long Zhanwu was so angry that his beard and eyes were popping out as he shouted solemnly, "All of you go kill him! Give the order!" The 11 Long clan disciples rushed to the arena together. Except for Long Fu, who was hiding in the crowd, he did not move. And Long Fei's gaze was also constantly watching him. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. The 11 disciples of the Long family quickly surrounded Long Fei. "Brat, you asked for it. No shit, kill him. Let's go together. I really want to see just how strong he is. A waste of negative activation to dragon blood." In that instant, the 11 of them started to move. All of them were at least War Spirit level 4, releasing their battle chi to form a pressure that could crush Xiang Longfei. The 4 disciples all took out their weapons and attacked Xiang Longfei. He's too arrogant. I've never seen such an arrogant person before. He's simply courting death. He doesn't know how to hide himself at all, but with this kind of personality, he won't be able to live for long. Nangong Shao laughed coldly. I had thought that brat was smart, but it turns out he was just a fool. Li Chongtian also laughed. Your Highness is right, Long Fei is overestimating himself. A level 1 War Spirit challenging 11 experts. He thought he was just playing around. Nangong Lei did not speak, but Nangong Yen laughed disdainfully. It's best if he dies. If he dies, then the marriage contract bestowed upon him by Imperial Uncle will become void of its own accord, and I don't have to bother with this piece of trash anymore. Zhuge Jianxiang clenched his swollen mouth and said fiercely, "Go and die quickly." No one favored Long Fei, because Long Fei was really too arrogant. Even some of the elders of the Long family shook their heads and sighed. Long Shan and the others could only bitterly smile. This young master was too impulsive. A pleased sneer surfaced on Long Zhanwu's face. "Long Fei, you're too arrogant. This is perfect. I don't need to use killers to deal with you." Ha ha ha. A wild and complacent laugh came out from Long Zhanwu's mouth. In the arena, Long Fei was forced to retreat, unable to withstand the waves of attacks. The moment the disciples of the Long family attacked, they immediately retreated, and the attacks from behind went to the street, not giving Long Fei any time to catch his breath. The application of the war of attrition was extremely thorough. Long Fei had already been forced to the edge of the stage. He frowned and sneered. "I've really underestimated you underlings of Long Zhanwu." Suddenly, a figure was sent flying. "Long Fei, go and die." The blade came slashing down. At the same time, the 8 people facing Long Fei made their moves at the same time, sealing off all of Long Fei's escape routes. At this moment, Long Fei was unable to defend against the attacks of the 8 people, even if he blocked the attacks from the top of his head. The other two people continued to use their battle chi to crush Long Fei, causing his mind to be in a state of chaos. Dead. He was in dire straits. Ha ha ha. Long Fei, you're dead for sure. There's no retreat. He's too arrogant. He's dead for sure. Nangong, Yen was even more so happy and started laughing. It's good that you're dead. It's good that you're dead. Hee hee. Nangong lay slightly said, there's no way to defend. Defense. The corner of Long Fei's mouth drew back, revealing a cold smile. An attack is the best defense. As soon as he finished, top quality sword teeth tiger spell note. Go. A talisman shot out, straight towards the disciple in the air. In the midst of the lightning. Dragon Salyer technique. A new set of large power King Kong apes, ribs, appeared in Long Fei's hand. The ribs bent, shaped like Tang Dao, and with the ribs as the blade, the Dragon Salyer technique was released consecutively. Roar. A wind attribute sword teeth tiger rushed out and directly threw that disciple who was in the air to the ground, opened its blood basin, and fiercely bit down. His neck was bitten off. Blood sprayed wildly. Ding. Congratulations to player Long Fei for killing. Instant kill. At the same moment, the bone blade in Long Fei's hand slashed, but did not keep the blade chi. It was directly released. The blade chi shot out in the shape of a half-moon. Roar. A furious voice of a large power King Kong ape sounded. 8 moves in a single strike. The 8 of them were directly sent flying. The might of a divine, rank martial skill was extraordinary, adding on the powerful strength of the large power King Kong ape. It was extremely brutal within the blade energy. The 8 of them were overturned. Tiny rippling steps. Activating true breath, his speed was raised to the limit. He put away the blade. Open the skin. Crack. A person's body was split in half, and he died instantly. Ding. The system sounded out. Tendon break. Crunch. Ding. Instant kill. Break the bones. Crack. 1 slash, 1 kill, almost in a second. 8 consecutive slashes, all in 1 kill. At this moment, everyone was dumbfounded. As they watched everything happening in the arena, they couldn't help but rub their eyes. What just happened? What had happened? An illusion. This was definitely an illusion. This is impossible. Those people who had mocked that Long Fei would die, especially Nangong Yen, who looked as if he had been ruthlessly slapped twice by someone, all turned green and flushed red. His expression was exceptionally unsightly. It was the same for the people from the 3 heavens pillars. Long Zhanwu had an even more foolish expression on his face. Seeing his own disciple being killed by Long Fei in an instant like how a radish cabbage was killed by a single slash from Long Fei, he could not believe the reality in front of his eyes. No matter how strong a level 1 war spirit was, it couldn't be this strong. What was going on? What kind of saber technique was he training in? Too powerful. What had happened in the short span of half a year? Long Zhanwu's heart was in a mess. This was the first time he was in a panic. From the beginning till the end, he had never placed Long Fei in his eyes, but now he looked at Long Fei with contempt. He felt a chill in his heart. After killing the 8 people, Long Fei's entire body was already drenched in blood. Staring at the remaining 2, the corners of his mouth drew back, revealing his bloody teeth as he laughed sinisterly. Plop, plop. The 2 of them knelt down immediately, trembling in fear, and said immediately, Long Fei, don't kill me. Long Zhanwu is an old dog. Long Zhanwu will die a horrible death. Long Zhanwu is being suppressed. Long Fei, I've said it, I've scolded Long Zhanwu. I beg you to spare my life. Not waiting for them to finish, Long Fei hacked down with his blade and said with a deep voice, This old one hates people who use pressure to crush me the most. Do you think that your realm is amazing? F asterisk CK. One hit two. Instant kill. Ding. Ding. Congratulations to player Long Fei for killing. Two notifications sounded. Long Fei pointed his bone blade straight at Long Zhanwu's face, his entire body releasing his spirit chi. He bellowed, "Damn it! Who else is there?" Chapter 58, 150 slashes, kill. Chapter 58, 150 slashes, kill. His voice shook the heavens. It was like a thunderclap that struck into the hearts of everyone present. Unwell. It was very uncomfortable. The people who mocked Long Fei were like people who had eaten flies. The feeling of being stuck in their throats and unable to be spit out was too unbearable, especially the people from Three Pillars and the royal family. They felt as if their faces had been ruthlessly slapped by Long Fei. It was extremely painful, extremely painful. Long Fei's eyes sank and said arrogantly, "So what if you have negative activation to dragon blood? So what if the pubes is broken? So what if your tendons and veins are in a state of depression? Mocking that your father is trash. You too are worthy of that." Huh. Once again, he roared out in rage, venting the anger in his heart. He was displeased from the moment he tested Long Fei's dragon blood activation and suppressed a ball of fury in his heart, facing the mockery of the Three Pillars and the imperial family, and facing the disappointment of the Long family members. He was even more displeased. At that time, he had hidden his strength precisely because he wanted to tell the Long family's disciples that dragon blood activation could not represent everything. Pubes cannot represent everything. It was impossible for his tendons to be blocked. He wanted to tell everyone that the Long family would never give in to any difficulties. The entire hall was silent. Everyone was staring at Long Fei, who was on the stage. At this moment, the Long family's unity once again gathered together, with Long Fei as the core. At this moment, nearly everyone in the Long family recognized young Master Long Fei's position, and everyone started to worship him because he had created a miracle, because his name was Long Fei, the young master of the Long family. Suddenly, Long Zhanwu said coldly, "Long Fei, don't get cocky too early." As soon as he finished, Long Zhanwu bellowed, "Long Fu, kill him, kill him." In the blink of an eye, a demonic shadow rushed out from the crowd and released the conical shadow technique from his palms. At this moment, Long Fei laughed coldly in a complacent manner. "I've been waiting for you for such a long time. You've finally made your move." He had been paying attention to Long Fu from the beginning. From the moment of his examination, Long Fei had already guessed that he was the assassin hidden amongst the Long family disciples. After killing the 14 Long family disciples, Long Fei was even more certain in his heart. At the same time, he also believed what the female assassin said. I didn't lie to him. The ball of black shadows trembled. It was obviously him who had ambushed Long Fei, but he was still. An ominous feeling rose in his heart, as if he had fallen into Long Fei's trap. He was a killer with a keen sense of smell. His years of killing experience had taught him that only by saving his life could he complete the mission. The machine broke down. He suddenly turned around and charged in another direction. However, Long Fei laughed coldly. Too late. The blade aura, accumulated from the 7 moves of the dragon salure technique, suddenly moved. From the moment he attacked, he had been accumulating blade aura, with the aim of dealing with Long Fu. Dragon Chop. Ding. Triggering the spatial ring's luck attribute will increase the damage of the Dragon Chop by 100%. Huh. Then your fate is really bad. Long Fei was secretly shocked. He did not expect to trigger the luck attribute. Clenching his teeth, he roared fiercely. 150 slashes. Boom! Long Fei held onto the blade with both of his hands as the true breath surged. He released all the true breath and roared, "Get on the ground! Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh! Asterisk, whoosh, whoosh, whoosh! Asterisk." The first layer of blade energy was released, and Long Fu was lifted into the air. Immediately following that, the 149 layers of blade energy slashed down in an instant. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Asterisk, whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Asterisk, the saber chi slashed crazily on Long Fu's body like a knife cutting through butter. In a split second, Long Fu's body was completely shattered. A torrential rain of blood spurted out from his body. The surrounding people looked up at the sky. He could feel the destructive power of the saber. Each one of them was completely crushed by this saber energy and could not move at all. Bam! The assassin's body split apart. It was chopped into pieces. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for killing Long Fu for obtaining 150,000 experience, 1,000 true breath, and 10 energy values. Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining 20 million silver notes. Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining Hell's Magic. Do you wish to cultivate it? Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for leveling up. Current level, level 2 War Spirit. The system beep sounded continuously. He was surprised to find that he had 150,000 experience points. It was simply too satisfying to directly level up. You know, once Long Fei leveled up, all of his stats were fully filled. True breath slot fully recovered. Martial arts arena be quiet. It was deathly quiet, so quiet that it made people panic. It was shocking to have beheaded 14 disciples at once, but in the end, Long Fei released a dragon chop that was completely shocking beyond compare. 150 layers of saber chi, arrogant saber chi, domineering saber chi. It was as if they could really kill a divine dragon, an existence that was so cool that it could even explode. Was this something a human could do? He was simply a god. Body Long Fei stood on slightly, the stage. His gaze the sweeping aura coming from his body made him feel uncomfortable. Who else? He was an expert of the war chief realm, but he was being crushed by Long Fei, who was in the war spirit realm. It could only be said that the dragon chop was too domineering. At this moment, ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for completing the family contest quest with a reward of 100,000 experience points, 1,000 true breath, 500 points, battle dragon armor, earth stage. Ding! Do you want to use the dragon battle armor? Use it! Long Fei did not hesitate at all and immediately wore the war dragon armor. He urgently needed defense right now. After putting on the dragon battle armor, Long Fei's entire body was covered with the aura of War Dragon. This was a thick defensive chi, and the battle dragon armor was too cool. The two dragons were coiled on his back, like wings. He was a complete mess. Of course, only Long Fei himself could see. At this moment, Long Shan shouted hysterically, "Young lord, mighty young lord, domineering young lord, long live the young lord. The young lord is mighty, the young lord is domineering, long live the young lord." At the same time, the entire Long family's disciples roared, "The young lord is mighty, the young lord is domineering, long live the young lord." Too cool. He was so handsome that he dropped to the ground, who still mocked Long Fei as a trash. Who else would dare? At the same time, the doors to the two secret chambers of the Long family opened. Long Fei stared coldly at Long Zhanwu and said, "You spent 50 million to hire a killer to kill me. In Fire Wolf Valley, the Long Fu that died just now, you are truly vicious. I am your nephew, yet you hired a killer to assassinate me. How did I offend you?" Did I fuck your wife or your daughter? You want to do this to me? Long Zhanwu was so angry that his entire body was trembling, his teeth chattered loudly, and he roared loudly, Long Fei! Why are you calling me daddy? Long Fei heaved a heavy sigh and said word by word, Since you want to kill me. All right then. Long Zhanwu, today, right now, I, Long Fei, will challenge you. Chapter 59. Challenge Long Zhanwu. Chapter 59. Challenge Long Zhanwu with that. It immediately caused a sensation. Challenge the great elder. Is he crazy? Does he not know that the great clan elder is a level 7 expert of the war chief? To challenge the war chief, it's simply impossible. Young master, don't be rash, don't be rash. It exploded in the entire martial arts arena. Who would have thought that Long Fei would actually want to challenge Long Zhanwu? Ha ha ha. Ha ha ha. Long Zhanwu laughed, and laughed sinisterly. Challenge me? Long Fei, you're the one who is courting death, so don't blame me for this. He was just worrying that he could not find a chance to get rid of Long Fei. He did not expect to actually challenge him without knowing his own capabilities. This is simply asking the heavens to help me. Moreover, this was a challenge that Long Fei had initiated, so he could only blame himself for killing it. No way. Long Shan immediately rushed to the arena and said, Great Elder, what young lord said just now is a joke. It doesn't count. And then Long Shan pulled Long Fei and was about to leave the stage, saying in a low voice, Young master, Long Zhanwu's cultivation is too terrifying. You cannot be his opponent. Not waiting for him to finish. Wang. A burst of qi burst out from Long Zhanwu's body, forming a powerful battle qi attack, directly smashing onto Long Shan's back. He coldly snorted and said, Who do you think you are? Get out of my way. Bam! Long Shan could not defend against the impact of the war chief realm at all, and was sent flying. After flying for more than 10 meters, he heavily crashed into the ground and spat out a mouthful of blood. His face immediately turned pale white. What a powerful battle qi. Long Zhanwu is a strong warrior at the peak of the Long family. The war chief realm is extremely powerful, especially the control of battle qi, which is not something that the war spirit can withstand. This time, Long Fei is going to suffer. With one move, Long Zhanwu sent Long Shan flying. The strong battle qi made people feel fear. Long Fei's heart sank, and thought to himself, What a powerful strength. Looks like I've underestimated Long Zhanwu. Long Fei's figure moved. He landed beside Long Shan and asked him to consume a highest-grade medicine powder, then looked at Long Zhanwu, who was already standing on the stage. Long Shan pulled on Long Fei's clothes and said, Young master, don't fight with him. Please don't. Long Fei, come up and die. Long Zhanwu said, arrogantly, The challenge was made by you. If I don't teach this bastard a lesson today, Long Zhanwu will write backwards. He had to kill Long Fei. Today, Long Fei had greatly damaged his power. If he did not get rid of Long Fei, it would become a huge problem in the future. Moreover, Long Fei was very popular now. Once he had won over the hearts of the Long family's disciples, he would definitely be trapped in the Long family. If Long Fei didn't die, then he wouldn't be able to become the Long family's patriarch. In any case, even Long Fei had to die. His potential was too great. If he had more time, he might not even be able to suppress him. Long Shan did his best to pull Long Fei back and said, Young master, you can't go. The other disciples of the Long family did the same. Young master, you can't fight with him. Young master, don't be rash. Young master, please listen to us. Long Zhanwu's strength was too terrifying. How could the realm of war spirit be a match for the war chief realm? It was also at this moment, Nangong Yen suddenly sneered and said disdainfully, You don't keep your words, so what kind of man are you acting like? Long Fei, you really make me look down on you. Zhuge Jianxiang mocked. Princess, I never thought that your fiancé would be this kind of trash. It really broadens my horizons. Nangong Xiao also laughed. You are afraid of death. This is the nature of humans. The people from the Long family are the same. Li Chongtian said, I thought he was different, but he's actually such a cowardly person. It's just that everyone in the Fire Glass City knows what we said just now. And even if we don't keep our promises, the young master of the Long family has his principles. Ha ha ha. The power Long Fei released was too strong. Even his negative activation to dragon blood made them feel that he was a threat, even more so than that genius Long Fei. They all felt fear in their hearts. At the same time, they couldn't wait for Long Fei to die, especially Nangong Yen. She had been very clear about what she had done this past year. She definitely could not turn back, and since she could not, she would ruthlessly trample Long Fei to death. Stepping on Long Fei, her sense of superiority was even more obvious, and even more so, her nobility. What a great method of provocation. Long Fei slowly walked out from the crowd, his gaze fixed on 3 pillars, and the rest as he sneered. Didn't you guys just want to see me die? Nangong Yen slightly said, the challenge was made by you. I don't want my future husband to be someone who goes back on his words. If you have the guts to say it, then you have the ability to do it. Long Fei looked at Nangong Yen. Indeed, Nangong Yen was very beautiful, no matter if it was her appearance, body, or even her voice. She could not help but be intoxicated by it. However, her heart was even more venomous than snakes and scorpions. The corners of Long Fei's mouth turned cold as he smiled. Don't worry, I will definitely do as I say. Little Yen, our wedding will be in 3 years. At that time, I will definitely cherish you well. Revealed an evil and cold smile when he said the word cherish. Everyone knew what the 2 words cherish meant. Nangong Yan's eyes tensed up, her fists clenched, her face filled with anger, but she could not release it, and roared out in her heart, Long Fei, you are just a waste with negative activation to dragon blood. How could you possibly have me? Dream on, it's impossible to do it in this lifetime. I want to end the engagement. I want to end it. As the wedding day got closer and closer, she longed for Long Fei to die as soon as possible. Nangong Lei lightly coughed and said with a low voice, Yenner, restrain yourself. He couldn't explode in front of so many people. And then Nangong Lei smiled faintly and said, Long Fei, there's still 3 years of time. You can do it. Right. Don't tell me you want to avoid Clan Elder Long Zhanwu's challenge. If you want to avoid it, I, Nangong Lei, will definitely do everything I can to protect you. But Yenner has always liked strong people since she was young. I'm afraid she would hate you if you were to act like this. His words still angered Long Fei. In their eyes, Long Fei was just a 16-year-old youngster. He was hot-blooded, young, and arrogant. Long Fei laughed. Father, don't worry. I said that I will definitely challenge Long Zhanwu. So I hope that your 3 pillars and the royal family can take a good look. I, Long Fei, have returned. From today onwards, if anyone in the Fire Glass dynasty dares to harm the Long family, hee. Suddenly, Long Fei roared fiercely. I, Long Fei, will definitely tear him into 10,000 pieces and destroy the clan he belongs to. While they were talking, Long Fei's body released a dense killing intent. It was also at this time Long Fei leaped fiercely and landed heavily on the stage. He stared at Long Zhanwu and said, It's exactly because the Long family has people like to fight amongst themselves that they became like this, and is why they were looked down upon. Is it possible that you, the patriarch of the Long family, are also worthy to be the Marquis of God Dragon? The muscles at the corner of Long Zhanwu's eyes trembled. The killing intent in his eyes was extremely strong. He suddenly released the war chief's battle energy. His fists shook, and he punched Xiang Longfei. Longfei was in no hurry as a talisman landed between his fingers. Flood Dragon Longfei's heavenly talisman. Go! Chapter 60. This old man is being arrogant again. Chapter 60. This old man is being arrogant again. Flood Dragon Longfei's heavenly talisman. Instant kill of all experts below the 5th stage of War Chief. There was no suspense, but Long Zhanwu was at the 7th level of War Chief, not one that he could instantly kill. However, even if the Flood Dragon Longfei's heavenly talisman could not kill him instantly, it would still be able to harm him. A talisman exploded in midair, and immediately the roar of a flood dragon sounded. A flood dragon rushed out of the talisman and directly wrapped itself around Long Zhanwu, biting down with its bloody mouth wide open. Dragon? Is that the same sound as last time's dragon roar? No, that's not a dragon. It's a flood dragon. This talisman, the power is simply too great. How could he have such a powerful talisman? The crowd was shocked. The 3 sisters of the Heaven sect, who were at the corner of the training grounds, all this time became extremely excited. Xiao Tian fiercely shouted, "Kill him!" Humph. Yi Zian also followed. These people are looking forward to Long Fei's death. It's too hateful, especially that Nan Gongyan, he looks like he deserves a beating. It makes me unhappy. Lu Luoshi, on the other hand, looked at the flood dragon's talisman and was incomparably shocked in his heart. Not all demon beasts' blood essence could be assimilated into talismans, not to mention being able to refine top-grade talismans. To Lu Luoshi, Long Fei was just too strong. In the arena, Long Zhanwu was also caught off guard. He never thought that Long Fei would actually have such a powerful talisman. However, after all, he was an expert of the War Chief realm. A few seconds later, Long Zhanwu bellowed, "Dragon break!" Ha! With a leap, he flew into the air and punched towards the dragon. He sneered, "Long Fei, have you forgotten that our ancestor of the Long family was able to kill the dragon god? Our Long family's blood contains dragon blood essence. What can a mere dragon do to me?" Rumble! 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 Awoo! The dragon let out a blood-curdling screech. The shadow slowly dissipated until it completely disappeared. The Long family was a dragon-slaying family. After so many years, the blood essence within his body hadn't changed at all. The dragon break was a martial skill that had been developed by even giant dragons. It could be broken with a single move. Long Fei did not expect this. The instant the flood dragon's talisman was broken, Long Zhanwu didn't stop at all. His figure was like lightning, his 2 fists charged, and with a heavy roar, he shouted, "Dragon break!" Second move, descending dragon for life. Whoosh whoosh, asterisk, the battle chi wreaked havoc. The wind of his fists were like thunder, and Long Zhanwu's aura seemed to be able to suppress Xiang Longfei like mountains and overturn seas. It was too fast. Long Fei was completely different. Strength, agility, attack, all attributes were doubled. At first, he could not see Long Zhanwu's movement trajectory clearly, but now all of their gazes were fixated on him. Boom! The sound of strength clashing resounded. Long Fei laughed out wildly. "Awesome!" Immediately, his right arm moved as he gathered his strength. Mountain hit fist. Bam! With a leap, he collided head-on with Long Zhanwu. Punch against punch. Rumble. Energy shot in all directions, causing Long Zhanwu to be sent flying. Long Fei was the same. Long Zhanwu's eyes turned sinister as he roared in anger. "Dragon break, 4th move." Long Fei was also displeased as he shouted in a low voice, "Mountain hit fist! Again!" Bam! Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for triggering Large Power King Kong Ape's power. Your strength has increased by 200%. This was the attribute of luck. The veins on Long Fei's right fist bulged. His fist sliced through the air and once again smashed forward. Bam! Rumble! Crack! The joints of Long Zhanwu's fist had completely shattered, and his entire arm was going numb. This time, he was sent flying backwards with shock in both his eyes. Impossible, absolutely impossible. You're not Long Fei, so you wouldn't have such a powerful strength. At this moment, tiny rippling steps. Shwa! Long Fei glided forward, and before Long Zhanwu could fall, both his fists punched out once again. Bang, bang. Long Zhanwu was struck and blown into the air. Long Fei leapt high into the air, arrived at the point where he was about to land, bent his knees, and smashed down with a heavy blow. Bam! Their auras were like a rainbow. The heavy blow directly caused the enormous arena to collapse. Long Zhanwu was on the verge of death in the ruins. At this moment, ding! The true breath is insufficient. The peerless attribute has disappeared. Long Fei's body regained his normal aura, and he stepped on Long Zhanwu's head, framing Laozi again. You dare be so arrogant for Laozi. Long Zhanwu laughed madly and said, Long Fei, your aura has recovered. Do you think you can kill this daddy just by relying on your current state? Ha ha ha. Trash from the negative activation to dragon blood. How could you possibly kill me? Your father wasn't worthy of that year. At this moment, Long Fei clenched his teeth, opened his right hand, and sneered. Indeed, I cannot kill you in my current state, but he can kill you. Dragon Salyer, come out. Chapter 61, Long Family's Supreme Elder. Chapter 61, Long Family's Supreme Elder. The true breath was exhausted, and his spirit was exhausted. It was indeed difficult for Long Fei to kill him with his own strength. This was the difference in realms. However, under Long Fei's furious roar, an incomparably domineering and broken blade fell into Long Fei's hands. Boom, boom, boom. A resonating sound of power appeared in the air. Long Zhanwu's eyes nearly bulged out as he said, Impossible, impossible, absolutely impossible. The dragon Salyer disappeared for several thousand years. You can't find it. No, no, absolutely impossible. Unbelievable. What did dragon Salyer mean? The Long Family's Supreme Elder. It was above the Grand Elder. Once the dragon Salyer appeared, who dared to disobey. It was the supreme existence of the Long Family, a supreme faith, and also the spiritual refuge of the Long Family. At this moment, everyone in the Long Family fell silent. 3 pillars and Nangong Shao stood up abruptly. Their eyes were filled with shock, jealousy, and hatred that could not be hidden. Long Fei clenched both his hands. The dragon Salyer raised above his head and growled. Did he kill you? No. Long Fei, you can't kill me. I'm your uncle. I'm the great clan elder. You can't kill me. You don't have the qualifications to kill me. Long Zhanwu's voice trembled. He had never been as afraid as he was now. Under the dragon Salyer, even his soul was trembling. At this moment, Long Fei hacked down with his blade. I'll let you know what qualifications are. Die. Hua. With a slash of his blade, the dragon Salyer let out a dragon-slaying roar. Roar. Ah. Long Zhanwu's body was split into 2. His entire being was instantly killed. Not even a trace of blood could be seen on the dragon Salyer. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for killing Long Zhanwu for obtaining 250,000 experience, 3,000 true breath, and 10 energy values. Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining Dragon Break. You wish to cultivate it? Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining 30 million silver notes. Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining Sky Dragon Pellet. The notifications exploded continuously. Long Fei did not care about what Long Zhanwu revealed, but his eyes darkened instead. With great force, he carried the dragon salure on his shoulders and asked solemnly, "Who else? Who still refuses to accept this? Come on up." Overbearing and matchless, his eyes were like torches, the tyrannical aura on his body combined with the dragon salure on his shoulders. His entire being was extremely eye-catching. It crushed the entire martial arts training field. It was also at this time Long Zhanya suddenly shouted, "Where is the law enforcement hall?" "Ha!" Long Zhanya's eyes were bloodshot as he stared at Long Fei, who was on the stage, and shouted, "Killing the disciples of the Long family and killing the great clan elder of the Long family. Long Fei, you are a homicidal maniac. You are not worthy of being a member of the Long family. Go all out and take your place." The law enforcement hall was Long Zhanya's power. They all obeyed his orders. Although they were a little hesitant in their hearts, they still all rushed up and quickly surrounded the arena. The long spear moved, shouting in unison, "Kill! Kill!" At the same time, Long Shan raised his arms and asked, "Where are the Long family's imperial guards?" "Ha!" Half of the Long family's martial arts arena as all shouted in unison. Long Shan shouted, "Protect the young lord." Next, the disciples of the Long family quickly surrounded the law enforcement hall. There were at least 3 times more people than law enforcement hall. At this moment, Zhuge Tianlong laughed coldly, then said, "General Li, Prince Nangong, Prince of Nangong, this is a good opportunity. They will fight later, and once they do—" Li Chongtian sneered. "Brother Zhuge is thinking the same thing as me. It all depends on Prince Nangong now." Nangong Lei did not speak. Nangong Yen said coldly, "Kill." Nangong Shao smiled slightly and said, "This prince will not participate, but the things that have happened today will definitely not be spread out. Those outside will only know that Long Fei has been killed by the law enforcement hall." He. Zhuge Tianlong laughed. Although this child does not have the dragon god's blood essence, the speed at which he grows up is too fast. He actually found the supreme artifact of the Long family. This kid must not be allowed to live. Killing intent rose in his heart. They understood Long Fei's threat very well. Compared to the dragon god warriors of the past, it was even more dangerous. The most crucial point was that once Long Zhanwu died, Long Fei would have full control of the Long family. With the dragon salure at his command, he would be able to control the Long family's army, and the Long family would definitely unite under his lead. They all understood in their hearts, Long Fei cannot stay. Right now, as long as this battle royale had begun, they would immediately use their full power to kill Long Fei, so as to eliminate any future troubles. All of a sudden, the atmosphere in the martial arts arena was tense, and no one dared to act rashly. In the corner, Xiao Tian could not hold it in and immediately rushed out. His body moved, landing on the ruined stage, and shouted, "If anyone dares to touch this bastard, I, Xiao Tian, will be the first one to not let him go." "Senior sister?" Yi Zian didn't care that much. She also landed beside Long Fei and shouted, "If anyone dares to touch Long Fei, I won't let him go either." At this moment, Lu Luoshi struck out with his sword, his figure descending like a fairy, and said, "Sky Sect's Lu Luoshi, no one can touch him." The appearance of the 3 sisters from the Heaven Sect shocked the entire audience. The Heaven Sect was like a giant. Their appearance caused the hearts of Long Zhanya and the people from the 3 pillars to tremble, and the space between their eyebrows knitted tightly. It was at this moment Fu Shishan walked out from the crowd, and said solemnly, Fu Shishan from the Fengyuan Merchant Union, no one can touch him. As soon as his voice faded, another heavyweight bomb exploded. Long Zhanya's forehead was drenched in cold sweat. The people from the three pillars were even more so apprehensive. The people of the Heaven sect were actually helping Long Fei. Moreover, even the Fengyuan Merchant Union, which never interfered with the family's competition, protected Long Fei. Furthermore, it was Fu Shishan who personally appeared. She was the daughter of the Fengyuan Merchant Union's leader. She would represent the entire Fengyuan Merchant Union. The crowd automatically opened up a path, allowing Fu Shishan to pass through with his veil on. Long Fei was grateful in his heart as he said, "Thank you." At this moment, things had already gone beyond their expectations. Long Zhanya looked at Zhuge Tianlong. Zhuge Tianlong said in a deep voice, Long Fei committed an offense while being a disciple of the Long family. He ruthlessly killed his fellow clansmen, and even killed the great clan elder on the spot. He has already violated the rules of the Long family and the laws of the Fireglass dynasty. Li Chongtian said, slightly, Long Fei, are you just going to surrender? Or do you want us to do it ourselves? Nan Gongyan's face was extremely ugly because none of the four women around Long Fei were beneath her, so she was very unhappy and immediately replied, Why are you wasting words with him? Just kill him. Extremely vicious. The atmosphere immediately became tense. Many people were sweating profusely. Long Zhanya shouted, Men, give me... Not waiting for him to finish, a deep voice came crashing down from the sky. Who wants to bully my obedient grandson? Chapter 62, Grand Elder's Might. Chapter 62, Grand Elder's Might. As the sound of his voice faded, the entire audience was stunned. Originally, the disciples of the Law Enforcement Hall could not bear it any longer when facing the Heaven sect. As the voice sounded, their bodies began to tremble. Many people dropped the steel spears in their hands. Grandmaster is out. Lunatic Long has come out. Grand Elder... The voice from earlier was Long Sanfeng. They were also known as Crazy Dragon in the outside world. With that said, Long Sanfeng walked out of the room with his body naked. His eyes squinted as though he was smiling, but to some people, it was the smile of death. Behind him followed another person, Long Zhanhai. It was unknown why Long Fei felt wronged in his heart when he saw Long Sanfeng, but both of his eyes became wet. He could not help but say, Grandfather! If there was anyone in this world who was good to him other than Jojo, then that person would be the Grand Elder of the Long family, Long Sanfeng, and also Long Fei's grandfather. Long Sanfeng looked at the dragon sallier on Long Fei's shoulder, then looked at him with tears in his eyes, and emotionally said, Good. Xiao Fei has grown up. The excitement in his heart could not be put into words. Greetings, Grand Elder. Greetings, Patriarch. All the disciples of the Long family knelt down in worship. Long Zhanya also knelt down and said, Grand Elder, Patriarch, Long Fei, not waiting for him to finish. Long Sanfeng's gaze wavered as he suddenly took action. His figure moved like lightning and landed beside Long Zhanya, sending him flying with a palm strike. Bam! Long Zhanya didn't have the power to retaliate. Zhuge Tianlong frowned. War Chief! Long Sanfeng said slightly, Get up. And then Long Sanfeng looked at Zhuge Tianlong and said with a smile, Little Tianlong, is it you who wants to bully my good grandson? As soon as his voice faded, boom, 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 his body trembled nonstop, and his legs bent slightly. In the end, he directly knelt down and said with a pale face, I beg that Lord Dragon is merciful. I did not want to bully young Master Long. Please observe clearly. Oh, it's not you. So that's what Little Rushing Heaven is. The moment Long Sanfeng's words fell, another wave of pressure pressed down. Li Chongtian's face was pale white, unable to resist at all. She instantly knelt on the ground and begged for mercy. "Grand Elder, please spare my life. I am only here to observe the competition. I did not do anything to the Long family. Please take a look." "Oh, it wasn't you. Is that my grandson's wife?" Long Sanfeng looked at Nan Gonglei and her, and in almost an instant, another pressure came crushing down. Bam! Bam! Nan Gonglei and Nan Gong Yen instantly knelt down as well. Nan Gong Yen wanted to curse wildly, but he was stopped by Nan Gonglei. "Grand Elder, why would I do anything to my own son-in-law? I definitely won't." Nan Gong Yen roared angrily in his heart. "Long Fei, I definitely won't let you go. Definitely not. If you want me to marry you, then you, as a waste of negative activation to dragon blood, will never be able to do so." Then, Long Sanfeng's gaze landed on Nan Gongxiao's body. Nan Gongxiao was so scared that his face turned pale, and he immediately kneeled down. "Please spare me, Grand Elder. Long Fei is my brother. I never thought of killing him." So, what if he was a prince? In front of experts, they were nothing more than Boolsh *T. The War Master Ream were considered the pinnacle of experts in the Fireglass dynasty. They could not withstand the pressure at all with regards to their cultivation. As long as Long Sanfeng used a little more strength, their sea of consciousness would be crushed. This was a powerful expert, a being that disdains all existence. Zhuge Tianlong, Li Chongtian, Nan Gonglei, Nan Gongyen, and the other 5 people kneeled on the ground as they continuously trembled, because Long Sanfeng's might was continuously increasing. They could only kneel on the ground, not daring to resist at all. Madman Long could do anything to kill them. Even the current emperor wouldn't dare to punish him, let alone the fact that this was the Long family. Long Sanfeng picked his ears and said indifferently, "I seem to have heard someone just now saying that my obedient grandson broke the laws of the Fireglass dynasty and deserved to be killed for his crimes." Li Chongtian immediately said, "Grand Master, Zhuge Tianlong said this. He is in charge of the Ministry of Justice. He knows the laws best. It has nothing to do with me." Zhuge Tianlong scolded the 18 generations of Li Chongtian's ancestors in his heart, then immediately kowtowed and said, "Grand Elder, I didn't say anything just now. Young Master Long has punished us all thoroughly and helped us all get rid of this tumor." "Oh, so I heard wrong? My obedient grandson is fine." Long Sanfeng's face was filled with satisfaction, but his pressure had not weakened in the slightest. Nan Gongxiao immediately said with an awe-inspiring righteousness, "If anyone dares to touch my brother Long Fei, this prince will be the first to take his life." "If that's the case," Long Sanfeng said, "then I have misunderstood you." He withdrew his aura. The 5 of them laid flat on the ground, looking as bedraggled as possible. He quickly got up. Long Sanfeng's pressure suddenly came over again. Bang, bang, bang. The 5 of them instantly knelt on the ground. The kneecap was about to break. Long Sanfeng said with a deranged look, "Why have you people come to my Long family? Are you saying that you have a worthy goal for plotting against my Long family?" Long Fei almost laughed out loud. Zhuge Tianlong's group of 5 looked bitter and said, "Grand Elder, we were really just here to observe the competition and watch young Master Long Fei's heroic figure. How would we dare to have anything to do with the Long family?" "So it's like that. It seems that I was indeed mistaken in blaming you all." While they were talking, Long Sanfeng once again retracted his War Master's imposing aura and laughed. "The 3 pillars and the imperial family are here. It's been a long time since the Long family was so lively." Zhuge Tianlong and the other four climbed up with much difficulty. At this moment, Long Sanfeng's imposing aura came crushing down. Bang, bang, bang. Crack! This time, one of the kneecaps shattered. Gritting her teeth, she stared straight at Long Fei. She placed all of this onto Long Fei and said viciously in her heart, "This princess will definitely not let you have a good time. Long Fei, just you wait and see. I'm getting old and can't control my strength anymore." Long Sanfeng acted dumb. "I'm really sorry for the pressure just now." "Wifey-san, are you all right? Do you want me to find someone to show you?" "Last year, that pig's knee was broken by me. Do you want me to treat it for you? You can rest assured that it will definitely be cured." "Shanghai, was that pig from last year still alive?" Long Sanfeng asked seriously. "If you're still here, pull it out and let her see my medical skills." Long Shanghai reminded. "Grand Elder, that pig was eaten by you after you cooked it into a roasted suckling pig on the second day." Look at my memory." Long Sanfeng laughed and said, "Grandson's wife, I can really treat you." "Huh. No. Forget about it. Remember to come often and play with me. My good grandson will deepen our relationship. There are still 3 years until you two get married. I'm still waiting to carry my great-grandson. Hey, don't be in such a hurry to leave." Nangong, Yen even had the heart to kill. Nangong Lei carried her, bowed to the Grand Elder, and left the Long family in a hurry. If he didn't treat Nangong, Yen now, he would really become a cripple. Zhuge Tianlong also quickly left, afraid that Dragon Madman would use his pressure to crush them again. That kind of feeling was too uncomfortable. 3 pillars and the Nangong imperial family had lost a lot of face today. Chapter 63, Sequelae of Forced Release. Chapter 63. Sequelae of Forced Release. The people of 3 pillars had to leave the Long family. All the disciples of the law enforcement hall had put down their weapons and surrendered. What awaited them was a series of punishments, but it wouldn't be too heavy because the Long family needed elite disciples. Long Fei's danger was also gone. Lu Luoshi said, "Long Fei, it's time for us to leave as well. We need to go into closed-door cultivation during this period of time." Xiao Tiantian giggled. "Bastard, you better not be bullied again. We can't follow you around every day." Yi Zian quipped, "Little junior sister apprentice, you might as well come live in the Long family." Xiao Tiantian was startled. This is a good idea. Seeing Yi Zian's teasing expression, he immediately said angrily, "Senior sister, you don't care about her. She always bullies me." Fu Xishan also slightly said, "I should go as well." She was a little impulsive just now, but she did not regret it. Waiting for her would be the punishment from the top executives of Fengyuan Merchant Union, even if she was the daughter of the Alliance Master. From the moment she took the first step, she was ready. Long Fei thanked the 4 of them in his heart. If they hadn't suddenly appeared to support him, the chaos in the Long family would have been inevitable. At that time, the Long family wouldn't be the Long family anymore. Long Sanfeng laughed. "My 4 grandsons, where are you going? Isn't the Long family your home? Wife, son." He was short of just 3 words. Xiao Tiantian's face flushed red. She suddenly liked the crazy old man. He played with the corner of her clothes and occasionally looked at Long Fei, waiting for Long Fei to speak. The 4 girls felt sweet in their hearts. However, only Xiao Tiantian showed it. The other 3 did not show any expression. Lu Luoshi said respectfully, "Master Dragon, your grandson is Nangong Yen. We are only friends with Long Fei. We won't disturb you any longer, and we'll be leaving first." Xiao Tiantian muttered to herself and said, "That Nangong Yen is too evil. I can't wait to tear her mouth to shreds." Without waiting for her to finish, she was pulled away by Lu Luoshi and said in a low voice, "Don't say so much. Nangong Yen is Long Fei's fiancé after all. Fu Shishan also smiled faintly and bowed before taking his leave. Long Fei secretly clenched both his fists and muttered to himself, Nangong Yen! The people of martial arts arena all dispersed. To the Long family, this was a day worth being excited about. It was a day that every Long family disciple could see hope Indiana. Many people had the thought that the Long family was about to rise again. Long Sanfeng's courtyard. Long Sanfeng smiled and said, Don't worry about grandfather. I'm fine. Besides, you've grown up. You don't know how happy grandfather is to see you here at the martial arts practice grounds. Your blood essence has been drawn out, the pubes has been broken, and your veins are in disarray. However, you did not give up. Use your strength to suppress Long Zhanwu and make a large portion of the Long family's disciples howl for you, and make the Long family's might once again resound throughout the Fireglass City. Seeing this scene, even if I had to die, I would feel gratified. Ha ha ha. Then he couldn't help but laugh excitedly. Cough, cough, cough. Cough, cough, cough. The smile was too hurried, yet it kept on coughing. It was really just like an old man, causing Long Fei's heart to once again ache. And your dragon salyer. Our Long family hasn't been able to find it for thousands of years, but you found it in the end. This is all part of the will of the heavens, and it's all set in stone. Ha ha ha. While they were talking, Long Sanfeng began to laugh loudly. I'm glad. He had never been so happy in all these years. Xiao Fei, where did you find the dragon salyer? Long Zhanhai asked with doubt. Long Fei scratched his head and said, Grandfather, uncle, I also obtained it through a fortuitous encounter within the Fireglass Mountain Range. So from then on, I can start cultivating anew. Naturally, the matter of the system could not be revealed to anyone. As for the matter of the dragon salyer being blown off the body of the flood dragon, it was even more unspeakable. Even if they did, they wouldn't understand. Long Fei couldn't explain it either. He couldn't possibly say that he was a transcender, right? Long Sanfeng laughed. Ha ha ha. Heaven has blessed my Long family, but this dragon salyer seems to be incomplete. My ancestor was blessed by the heavens to be able to find the other half. Only then can I become a supreme artifact. The Long family can last forever. Long Fei secretly clenched both his fists and said, Grandfather, don't worry. I will definitely find the other half. Moreover, I already know where it is. The Nangong imperial family. This was the clue given by the mission, without a doubt. The other half were definitely in the Nangong imperial clan. Moreover, back then, the dragon clan's ancestor and the evil demon had both died. This was something the Nangong imperial clan had said. Was it true? Probably only the people from the Nangong imperial clan knew. Long Sanfeng held Long Fei's hand tightly and said, Good, good, good. This is the descendant of the Long family. Zhanhai. Suddenly, Long Sanfeng's expression became serious. Long Zhanhai thought about what it was and immediately replied, I'm here. Long Sanfeng said in a serious tone, From today onwards, I want you to use all the resources of the Long family to support him, protect him, and make him a divine dragon marquis. Chapter 64. From now on you are my shadow. Chapter 64. From now on you are my shadow. Long Sanfeng understood his own situation. In this lifetime, it would be difficult for him to step into the War Master realm, and after releasing the pressure of the War Master, he did not have much lifespan left. Before he died, he had to nurture Long Fei up, because Long Zhanhai's potential had also reached its limit. His cultivation could only stay at the War Chief. This world was the world of the strong. The Long family needed to have a strong rancor, and Long Fei needed to quickly rise in power. The current Long family was no longer the Long family from the past. The Long family didn't have much time left, coming out from Long Sanfeng's courtyard. Long Fei felt depressed in his heart and asked softly, "Uncle, I do not wish to become some divine dragon marquis. With my character, I am not suitable to be the patriarch of the Long family." He didn't want to be tied down. He likes to live his own life. Once he became the Long family's head, he would have to focus on the Long family. Long Zhanhai frowned and bellowed, "Long Fei, are you afraid?" Long Fei immediately said, "I, Long Fei, have never known what fear is. I am just—" Without waiting for him to finish speaking, Long Zhanhai interrupted him and said, "I'm not afraid of what you're worried about. From the moment you were born, you were the future master of the Long family. You were born for the Long family. Don't worry. As long as the Grand Preceptor and I are here, the two of us will do everything we can to protect you. However, you don't have much time left. I'm afraid that Grand Elder—" Long Zhanhai frowned. His fists clenched secretly as he sighed. "It's all my fault that my aptitude is dull, and I am unable to comprehend the concept of the War Elder. Otherwise you would have been able to help Grand Elder out a bit. Hate yourself. If he could become a little stronger and become an expert of the War Elder realm, he would also be able to cause the Three Pillars and the Imperial family to feel a little more fear. Long Fei, you must remember this. You are surnamed Long. You are a descendant of the Long family, and you shoulder the burden of the Long family's rise. No matter what happens, you must continue, resist it, even if the Grand Elder and I are no longer here. You must continue, because the descendants of the Long family will never lose, much less give up. Do you understand?" Long Zhanhai said in a serious tone. It was the Long family spirit to never admit defeat. Long Fei nodded heavily and said, "Uncle, I understand." "Very good. In the next few days, I will plan out your training plan. Go back and prepare for it." Long Zhanhai said. Long Fei asked, "Uncle, my cultivation method is different from others. I don't need to give all my cultivation resources to me." Cultivation resources were very important to any martial artist. However, to Long Fei, the cultivation resources of the god's martial continent were not helpful to him in breaking through to the next realm. Long Zhanhai said, "You don't have to worry about these things, just follow my plan." Actually, he had not come up with a good plan yet. Moreover, he was also wondering in his heart, without the dragon blood inherent skill, how could he break through when the pubes was broken? This was a very troublesome matter for Long Zhanhai. Long Fei argued, but he did not ask any further questions. He recalled his grandfather's painful expression and could not help but ask, "Uncle, is there really no way to treat grandfather's injuries? And how can he break through the War Elder realm?" Long Zhanhai exhaled a breath of air and said, "I'm afraid that the Grand Elder's injuries will be difficult to cure completely. A healing breakthrough." He smiled bitterly and continued, "Unless I can find the dragon's blood essence and raise the Grand Elder's dragon blood activation, perhaps you will be able to break through." He himself was the same. His dragon blood activation had reached 67%, but this was far from sufficient. If he was unable to raise his dragon blood activation, it would be difficult for him to break through in his entire life. To raise one's dragon blood activation, the only way would be to use dragon blood essence. However, this dragon was the supreme being. How could he find it? Even if they did, with the current strength of the Long family, they wouldn't be able to kill a dragon. Long Fei muttered, "Dragon blood essence?" He made a mental note. He thought to himself, "If I can find the dragon's blood essence, Uncle will be able to break through, Grandfather will also be able to recover his breakthrough, and the strength of the Long family disciples will also increase. At that time, Fireglass City will no longer dare to touch the Long family, and I will no longer need to be the Long family's master, and will be able to live freely." Long Fei made up his mind that he must find the dragon's blood essence. Returning to the thatched courtyard, Jojo welcomed him with a radiant smile and said happily, "Young master, you're so handsome today, hee. Everyone is talking about you." Although she did not go to the martial arts practice grounds, she had heard a lot of discussions about Long Fei. The current Long Fei was already the center of the Long family. Long Fei smiled faintly and said, "When was this young master not handsome?" "Right. What about her?" Jojo smiled mischievously and said, "Shadow Sis is inside the house." "Her name is Shadow." Long Fei was slightly taken aback, then said, "This name isn't bad after all." Following that, Long Fei walked into the room, looked at the veiled silhouette on the bed, and said, "The highest grade medicine powder I refined should have long healed the injuries on your body, right? Stop pretending in front of me, and get up." Long Fei was clearer than anyone else about the effects of the highest grade medicine powder. The figure was startled and immediately stood up. Looking at Long Fei, she said, "I'm not lying to you, right?" Long Fei looked at her. Because of her tight clothing, her figure was completely exposed. Her long legs, small waist, and the twin peaks on her chest had all bulged. It was just that there was a veil covering her face, but under the veil there was definitely a peerless beauty. Long Fei was also interested and said, "Take off your veil." "Huh." The figure was startled and hesitated to answer Long Fei. Long Fei sneered and said, "What? You don't even listen to this command? How am I going to make you do things in the future?" "Forget it. I won't force you. Your master has already been killed by me, and you are free to go." After Long Fei finished speaking, he turned around and was about to leave the room. "Wait." Her right hand was trembling a little as she gently took off her veil, while her eyes looked at Long Fei with a strange gaze. As expected, Long Fei's face revealed great shock. "She is indeed a peerless beauty, but just that, your expression is a little cold." With such a hot body coupled with such a peerless beauty, it was breathtakingly beautiful. Moreover, it was ice-cold and beautiful, as if it was an iceberg. Long Fei said, "Let me see you smile." The shadow's fists were tightly clenched. In the end, the corners of his mouth curled up, and he lightly smiled. Just like that, he shut his mouth and said, "The veil has been removed, and he is smiling. Is that okay now?" Although it was just for a moment, her smile was extremely beautiful, as if she had the beauty of eternity. Long Fei said indifferently, "From today onwards, you will be my shadow. Your veil can only be removed for me, and your smile can only be worn for me." Finished, Long Fei took out a cultivation technique from his bosom and threw it into the shadow's hands. And then Long Fei turned and left. The silhouette was startled by the technique in his hand. Hell's magic! Looking at Long Fei's back figure, the shadow was moved. The Hell's magic had always been a cultivation technique that she wanted to cultivate, but Long Fei gave it to her without even blinking his eyes. This master was a little different from his previous master. Chapter 65. Other half of the Dragon Salyer. Chapter 65. Other half of the Dragon Salyer, the Nangong Imperial Clan. The Imperial Temple. Other than being a tribute to the ancestors of the Nangong Imperial Clan, this place was also the main head of the Imperial Dragon Veins. Below the Great Temple was a huge training room. In the secret room, a giant dragon made of gold bared its fangs and brandished its claws, looking extremely ferocious, as if it could charge out at any time. Under the dragon's head, half of the broken blade was still there. The broken blade exuded an arrogant and domineering power. Even the ferocious dragon seemed to be somewhat fearful. The remaining half of the Dragon Salyer, Nangong knelt on the ground and said softly, "Grand Ancestor, The other half of the dragon Salyer has already been found by the Long family. Not far away, a 100-year-old man was sitting cross-legged. Upon hearing the word dragon Salyer, he suddenly opened his eyes, and his figure rushed over like a ghost. He instantly appeared in front of Nan Gonghua and asked with an excited expression, "Has he appeared?" As they spoke, the aura of the War Master spread out from his body, causing Nan Gonghua to be unable to endure it any longer. His figure started to tremble, and he said, "It appeared, and was found by the Long family's younger generation, Long Fei. Ah, ha, ha. He's finally here. I knew he would appear." With a mad laugh, the ancestor's figure blurred, appearing in front of the half of the dragon Salyer. His right hand moved. Wong. The other half of the dragon Salyer released an arrogant and overbearing blade aura. The blade aura was like a bloody light as it crazily unleashed. I have been waiting for so many years for the dragon Salyer to hide a shocking secret that not many great ancestors have comprehended after thousands of years. As long as we can find the remaining half, we will know. This secret could very well be the dragon god's secret. It might very well be the greatest secret of the ascendant stage. Taizu was starting to go insane. He was extremely excited. The great ancestor landed beside Nan Gonghua and said, "Back then, the dragon slayer god held the dragon Salyer and fought a great battle with the evil demon sovereign for 3 days and 3 nights. And just by relying on this dragon Salyer, he killed the evil demon sovereign. The dragon Salyer is too strong, and it has already threatened the position of our Nan Gong family. Never would we have thought that the dragon slayer god would use all of its dragon god blood essence as the primer to shatter the dragon Salyer. Threw one into the depths of the Fireglass mountain range, but we only managed to get half of it. Towards these secrets, Nan Gonghua's heart was greatly shocked. He only knew that the dragon slayer god was killed by the inescapable snare tactical method technique, but he never thought that the dragon Salyer could actually have such a strong power. The inescapable snare tactical method art was the foundation of the Nan Gong family and was an ancient vicious formation. The dragon slayer god was actually able to fight for 7 days and 7 nights. One could imagine how powerful this dragon Salyer was. Moreover, after that battle, the inescapable snare tactical method had been lost. For thousands of years, they had been trying to recover, but not even half of their energy had been recovered. Nan Gonghua calmed down and said, "Great ancestor, what do you want me to do?" The dragon Salyer was a supreme artifact. It could threaten the foundation of the Nan Gong imperial clan. This thing was either under his control or he wanted it to disappear forever. The ancestor's eyes narrowed. Nan Gonghua continued. Yesterday, Lunatic Long had already come out from seclusion. His cultivation had already broken through the War Master Ream. It will probably be difficult for us to deal with the Long family. War Master Ream, Long Sanfeng. The expression in the ancestor's eyes flickered, and he said, "His dragon blood activation is only at 75%. Breaking through the War Master Ream is probably—" Nan Gonghua was startled, then said, "Great ancestor, you said that he forcefully released the pressure of the War Master. According to my understanding of the Long family, if one wants to break through the War Master Ream, their dragon blood activation must reach 80%. Lunatic Long doesn't have this kind of potential at all. There are exceptions too, and we cannot be completely sure. The ancestor didn't dare to be sure either. The Long family was too strong. The dragon blood also contained too many uncertainties. Over the past 10,000 years, there were too many experts in the Long family, and there were also some special cases. To the Long family, he had always been the person that the Nan Gong imperial clan feared the most." Nan Gonghua was slightly taken aback, then said, "Then Tai Zu was silent for a few seconds, then said, "Didn't Nangong Lei get married to the Long family? He should be more interested to know whether Lunatic Long is really a war master ream or not than me, right?" In the past, his ancestors were also a participant. If not for our Nangong clan, there would not be a Prince Nangong family in this world. Nangong Lei was not from the Nangong royal family. It was also a family that was given the surname of the Nangong imperial clan. Following that, Tai Zu slightly said, "Pass my order to Nangong Lai. Didn't he break through the War Master Ream last year? Let's let him try out the cultivation level of Lunatic Long." Nangong Hua immediately replied, "Understood. Right. You said that the Dragon Salyer is currently in the hands of a younger generation member of the Long family." Tai Zu asked. Nangong Hua answered, "It's in the hands of the current young master of the Long family, Long Fei. It's the brat whose blood essence of the dragon god has been drawn out." "Young Master Long?" The Grand Elder's eyes became sinister as his lips curled into a sneer. "There's no need to act against him. Isn't there a banquet for him at the end of the year?" Nangong Hua immediately understood Tai Zu's meaning and said, "I got it. Dragon Salyer. I have to have it." The great ancestor secretly clenched his fists as he looked at the half of the Dragon Salyer, revealing a ghastly coldness. "What exactly are you hiding?" For a few days, Long Fei kept on using his skills, especially the Dragon Salyer technique. Without the addition of luck, his saber chi had already risen to the 155th level, each level more violent than the last. And then there was the fatal blow on his right fist. Long Fei was also crazily cultivating just that. It took him 3 minutes to circulate his strength. This was a bit of a pain in the ass. Ding. Proficiency +1. Ding. Congratulations to the player, Long Fei, for cultivating the divine technique. Toting skill, level increase. The current rank is level 3. Humph. Toting skill has finally reached the 3rd level. Long Fei was secretly excited, and at the same time, he checked his own attributes. Player, Long Fei level, War Spirit level 2 experience points, 180090/6000000 True Breath, 4,300 full skills. Toting skill level 3, Dragon Salyer technique, level 2, Mountain Hit Fist, level 1, Alchemy technique, level 6, Talisman technique, level 4. Ultimate skill, Magic Power of Right Hand, one-hit kill all martial artists below War Chief level 6, condense for 3 minutes. Energy values, 100 points lucky value, 10 points. Points, 1,600, table of contents. A series of attributes appeared at the interface in Long Fei's mind. Damn it, I need to find a place to level up. Also, skills are too hard to train. The level 4 toting skill S require 50,000 points. I have to keep training myself until I become a toad. Long Fei muttered. The system's downside. Without experience, it was impossible to level up. If one wanted to level up, they had to kill monsters. If they were to rely on refining top-grade pills to gain just a little bit of experience, who knew how long it would take to level up? Long Fei muttered in his heart, "Should I make another trip to Fireglass Mountain Range?" At this moment, the figure suddenly appeared behind Long Fei. Intense battle chi. She was a killer. Her ability to sense battle chi was far stronger than ordinary people. This was her special ability. At this moment, rumble! A huge sound exploded in the sky above Long Sanfeng's courtyard. "Ha ha! Lunatic Long, I heard that you broke through the War Master Ream. You came out to play. Nangong Lai is here. This is bad." Long Fei secretly shouted and quickly rushed to his grandfather's residence. Chapter 66. The Powerful Nangong Lie. Chapter 66. The Powerful Nangong Lie. Ha ha ha. Nangong Lie, you're in too much of a hurry. I didn't look for you, but you did. Immediately, Long Sanfeng released his battle chi and rushed into the sky, releasing a black silhouette that floated in the air. He stood there in midair. Only the War Elder realm could do this. Only then could he use the ability to fly. Nangong Lai was slightly taken aback, then laughed boorishly. Lunatic Long, I didn't think that you had really broken through the War Elder realm. It just so happens that I was worried about not being able to find a person at the War Elder realm to spar with. Why? Play. Madman Long, you were a battle maniac before. You wouldn't have refused my request, right? Just the fact that Long Sanfeng was flying through the air was not enough to prove that he was a War Elder realm cultivator. You have to fight to know. Without waiting for Long Sanfeng to speak, Nangong Lai smiled and said, Don't worry, I will at most beat your shit out of you. I won't take your life. Long Sanfeng's eyes became angry, and the War Elder aura from his body became endless as he bellowed. Nangong Lai, since you want to play, then let's play big time. The arrow was already on the bow, so he had no choice but to fire. When he was forcefully releasing the War Elder's chi in the martial arts arena, he had already guessed that someone would test his cultivation level. This person was either someone from the Nangong Imperial clan or Prince Nangong. However, Long Sanfeng never thought that Nangong Lai would arrive so quickly. Long Zhanhai rushed into the courtyard and leaped with all his might onto the roof, then shouted loudly, Senior, since you want to play, I'll play with you. Nangong Lai didn't even look at him, and said with a sneer, Seeing that you're calling me senior, I'll spare your life. A trash like you doesn't even have the qualifications to make me attack. As soon as his voice faded, the aura of the War Elder on Nangong Lai's body had also been released to its peak. His two fists moved, and dense battle chi roared out, charging towards Long Sanfeng, saying, Do you think I can't play? In that instant, Long Sanfeng moved, his true breath surging as his body continuously released the sounds of energy colliding with each other. The power of the dragon blood within his body also began to boil. Heavenly Dragon Palm. His right palm moved. A dragon's roar sounded out, the true breath activated, and a palm shot out like a heavenly dragon. Nangong Lai snorted, Just this little bit of strength. Ha! Nangong Lai clenched both of his fists tightly, aimed at the roaring dragon that was charging up, and punched fiercely downwards, raging sea fist. Rumble! 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 The sea of anger roared, and like an avalanche, it smashed into the dragon with a fist. The dragon let out a scream of rage. Nangong Lai pulled on his dragon head fiercely. Crack! The Long family's heaven-ranked level 8 cultivation technique is only mediocre. Nangong Lai disdainfully snorted. His arm loosened, and the heavenly dragon simulacrum slowly dissipated. Even though his mouth was filled with disdain, both his arms were numb. He thought to himself, as expected of the heavenly dragon palm, the one who will lose another bit of power will be me. In the blink of an eye, Nangong Lai's figure blurred and instantly appeared in front of Long Sanfeng. He sinisterly sneered, Lunatic Long, get down! Boom! Rage sea rushing to the sky. Rumble! The sky darkened, and like an enormous wave that descended from the skies, it directly smashed into Long Sanfeng's head. Long Sanfeng's forehead turned sinister as he roared, Dragon Elephant Break! His palms blurred. The power of the dragon blood was released, aimed at that massive wave, and launched an attack. Bam! Rumble! Rumble! His voice was shaking the sky, and even Long Zhanhai, who was on the roof, was unable to withstand the pressure of this battle chi, and tumbled down from the roof. At this time, Long Sanfeng's body also sunk, unable to resist. His cultivation was only at the 8th stage of the War Elder, and he was not a match for it. Furthermore, he was injured, so forcefully releasing the War Master's aura had already exceeded the limits of his body. If not for the anger in his heart, he would not have been able to hold on at all. After 2 consecutive attacks, his true breath had been completely exhausted, and the power of his dragon blood had been greatly reduced. Bang, bang, bang. Nangong Lai's power surged as he crazily struck down, coldly laughing. "Lunatic Long, is this all you have? Too weak, ha ha ha. Everyone says that you, Lunatic Long, are a martial cultivation genius that only appears once in 100 years. It looks like you're not up to much. Ha ha. Boom. Boom. Boom." He continued to strike and crush. Long Sanfeng's blood was boiling in his chest, and he almost vomited blood a few times. Boom. After the punch, Long Sanfeng heavily fell to the ground. "Father!" Long Zhanhai sprinted forward. The instant Long Sanfeng landed, he clapped his right hand and jumped up with force. He raised his head to look at the proud Nangong lie in the sky and thought to himself, I want to hold on to the pillar. I absolutely cannot let him see any flaws." Although he was at a disadvantage, however, his body was still releasing the aura of the War Master Reem, so even Nangong Lai could not find any clues. "Don't come over," Long Sanfeng shouted, and then laughed out wildly. "Nangong Lai, I didn't think that your comprehension of the War Master Reem's power would be so profound. I've only broken through for less than a month. If you give me another year of time, the one who lost would be you." His voice was like a great bell. There was no sign of injury. Nangong Lai laughed disdainfully. "What? Lunatic Long, you're admitting defeat and not playing? I am in a good mood. Come, take another palm from me." Just as Long Sanfeng had said, he was still unable to confirm Long Sanfeng's cultivation level. He had yet to achieve his goal for coming here. He couldn't give up just like that. In the blink of an eye, Nangong Lai's palm fell from the sky and gathered all of his power. If Long Sanfeng was able to block it, it would prove that he was a War Master Reem and that he had to be more careful in the future. But if he could not take it, it would mean that his cultivation was not War Master Reem and that he would die under his hands, which would remove a hidden danger for the Nangong family. Regardless of the outcome, the Nangong family was the winner. Long Sanfeng's gaze tensed up, the pressure of the surging War Master pressed down. He knew he could not hold on, but he decided to operate the best part of the dragon blood profound qi in his body. Once this thread of dragon blood profound qi circulated, his life could only last for 3 days. For the sake of the Long family, in order to intimidate the families who were eyeing the fired glass city covetously, and in order to buy Long Fei more time, he decided to give it his all. "You dare to touch my grandpa? I'll fight with you." Boom. Whoosh Wong explode. Wong. A violent explosion sounded out from Long Fei's body. Following that, all of the attributes in his body doubled. "Dragon Salyer, give it to me." Boom. A domineering shout. The dragon-slaying crippled blade appeared in Long Fei's hands, slicing the skin, breaking the tendons, breaking the bones. In a tenth of a second, 7 moves of Dragon Salyer technique were released. The blade chi also accumulated in that instant, and at the same time, Long Fei leapt out heavily. Bam! With both hands gripping the Dragon Salyer, he suddenly roared out, "Dragon Chop!" Shwa! A layer of saber chi swept out. Nangong Lai frowned, his heart sinking when he saw the Dragon Salyer in Long Fei's hand. Supreme artifact, Dragon Salyer? No wonder. No wonder Grand Ancestor Nan Gong wanted me to test Long Sanfeng's cultivation. So the dragon Salyer had appeared. It was also at this moment, Nan Gong Lai coldly snorted, and said, "Even a lame duck like you dares to be so arrogant in front of me?" Raging angry, see. Boom. Both palms formed into a fist. The berserk ocean came attacking from all directions, surging towards Xiang Longfei. Kill. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Asterisk, all of the blade energies were released and clashed with Nangong Lai's raging inferno. The earth quaked and the mountains shook. Powerful energy continued to shoot out in all directions. Bam. Chapter 67, 3 Days of Life. Chapter 67, 3 Days of Life. The dragon blood profound chi was injected into the dragon-slaying saber. Immediately, an angry dragon's roar came from within the dragon Salyer. The true might of the dragon Salyer was unleashed. At this moment, his body sank, and even the power of his War Master Ream could not be released. He immediately gave up on killing Long Fei, flew to the side, and smiled apologetically. "Lunatic Long, there's no need to be angry. I was just joking." "Are you kidding? You must be joking with the dragon Salyer. The last bit of dragon blood essence has been released. Do you think I can let you go just because you said that? That was impossible. If Long Sanfeng was a War Master Ream, he would have smashed Nangong Lai to the ground a long time ago, and would definitely step on his head while laughing maniacally. However, his cultivation was currently only at the 8th level of War Elder. To him, this kind of opportunity to crush Nangong Lai was something he would never miss. Killing Nangong Lai would be able to severely injure Prince Nangong's family, and would be a huge deterrence to the royal family, so the Long family would have even more time. Long Sanfeng risked his life for this blade strike, channeling all of his energy into his body. Rumble! 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 Heavenly thunder billowed, and the dragon Salyer cut down through the heavens and earth. Nangong Lai trembled in fear. The feeling of being crushed by the dragon Salyer was even worse than death. However, he wasn't the kind to obediently accept his fate. His body exploded. Nangong Lai roared, "Lightning defense, break for me." Thunder rumbled in his body. Long Zhanhai's face changed. Thunder clock? Heavenly soul treasure. Thunder clock? Nangong Lai's body had an extra huge bell on it. Its body was filled with purple lightning. The lightning formed a lightning web. It formed an extremely hard defense against the lightning. The thunder clock of Prince Nangong's house. It was also a peak-level heavenly soul treasure, and was extremely close to the existence of Holy Artifact S. Although its rank was not as high as the Dragon Salyer S, its defense was extremely powerful, and was obtained by their ancestors through a fortuitous encounter. Rumble! The Dragon Salyer slashed down. It struck the purple thunder net. Immediately, the sky and the earth darkened. It was as if the end of the world had struck, and the entire Fireglass City was trembling. The lightning web continued to break. The Dragon Salyer was unstoppable. Nangong Lai was struggling to hold on, but Long Sanfeng's power was rapidly drying up. The power of the true breath and the dragon's blood were all withering, and there was nothing left to follow up. Even if the dragon Salyer did not have the support of the true breath, it was still not able to unleash its powerful strength. Victory or defeat against a War Master Ream ranker could be determined in a moment. Nangong Lai grabbed onto this moment. The thunder clock suddenly roared. Its figure moving like lightning, it instantly shot towards the sky and started laughing maniacally. "Ha! Lunatic Long, you aren't strong enough, right? This is the difference. Ha ha ha!" He had escaped death. Nangong Lai's back was drenched in cold sweat. He was still in a state of shock as he stared at Long Sanfeng, who was in the courtyard, unable to confirm whether or not he was War Master Reem's cultivation. However, he no longer dared to try again. This was because the Dragon Salyar's power was too strong. If he slashed again, he definitely would not be able to block it. Even Thunder Clock would probably be destroyed by this blade. Long Sanfeng held onto the blade with his right hand and suddenly pointed towards Nangong Lai, who was in the air. He laughed arrogantly. "Child Nangong Lai, if you have the guts, come down and fight with this old man for another 300 rounds. Ha ha ha." While he was laughing maniacally, the aura of the War Master Reem was released endlessly. Nangong Lai did not dare to try again, and instead smiled. "Lunatic Long, there's a lot of time to go. There's no need to be in such a rush. Today, I still have urgent matters to attend to, so I'll come back one day to experience your Dragon Salyar's power." Finished. He instantly flew away, worried that the dragon madman would carry the Dragon Salyar and chase after him, cursing in his heart. "Nangonghua, you two, father and son, are truly ruthless enough to want to frame me. If I didn't run fast today, I would have died under the Dragon Salyar." Nangong Lai was extremely angry in his heart. Nangonghua's orders did not say that the Long family had already found the Dragon Salyar. Otherwise, he would not be acting this way. Naturally, he felt displeased in his heart. At the same time, Long Fei's figure was imprinted in his heart. For his war spirit to be able to withstand my attack, it is only one move, but he has too much potential and is a great threat to my King Nangong residence. We can't stay here any longer. The Long family has always had some crazy people. Now that the Dragon Salyar has been found, if the Long family rises up again, I'm afraid. He could not help but feel uneasy as he thought about the secrets and memories his father had told him before he died. Back then, in order to unite the Dragon Salyar and the Imperial family and use the inescapable snare tactical method to kill the Dragon Slayer god, who would have thought that he would actually split the Dragon Salyar into two? The Long family was not aware of this. If the Long family found out, perhaps the consequences would be unimaginable. And then Nangong Lai quickly returned to the King Nangong Palace. Long family, Long Sanfeng's courtyard. After confirming that Nangong Lai had left the Long family, Long Sanfeng's body suddenly sank and almost fell to the ground. It was also at this time a group of Long clan disciples rushed into the courtyard. Grand Elder, Grand Elder. Long Zhanhai's brows tightened and immediately shouted, "Besides Long Fei, all of you get out. Hurry up." His voice shook the heavens, and no one dared to resist. Although the disciples of the Long family didn't understand, it was obvious that the Grand Tutor had won. So why did he chase them away? One of the disciples of the Long family glared at Long Sanfeng, seeing him trembling nonstop, his face pale and without blood, as if he was an old man about to die. His heart trembled uncontrollably as the corners of his mouth unconsciously curled into a cold smile. Bam! The courtyard door closed. Long Zhanhai immediately rushed to Long Sanfeng's side to support him. "Father!" His heart felt like it was about to die. It was incomparably painful. Long Sanfeng looked at the dragon-slaying saber with incomparable excitement and said, "I can still see the Dragon Salyar in my lifetime and can still use it once. I'll be able to die in peace." Cough, cough, cough. Cough, cough, cough. Long Sanfeng violently coughed out, black blood unceasingly gushing out of his mouth, and his body was trembling uncontrollably. Long Fei also stepped forward to support him. His heart was in extreme pain as he said, "Grandfather, grandfather. Uncle, what happened to grandfather?" Long Zhanhai said in a deep voice, using the dragon's blood essence, forcefully releasing the War Master's aura, and in the end forcing Nangonghua back with the Dragon Salyar. He even used the last bit of the dragon's blood essence. Now father is... Cough, cough. Long Sanfeng coughed a few times, then looked at Long Fei in a benevolent manner. Xiao Fei, don't worry, your grandfather won't die yet. Father! Long Zhanhai could not hold it in any longer and said, your true essence is currently exhausted, your dragon blood essence is exhausted, and you are also injured. We only have 3 days of our lives left. When he said that, Long Zhanhai was also crying. Seeing his father like this, he wished that he could bear everything on his behalf. Hearing these words, Long Fei was stunned. Chapter 68, Heaven-Ranked Continued Life Pill. Chapter 68, Heaven-Ranked Continued Life Pill. Boom. Long Fei's body trembled, and he almost fell to the ground. Long Zhanhai's words were like a thunder from a clear sky. His 2 hands tightly grabbed onto Long Sanfeng, and he said, I won't. Grandfather, you told me I won't. Unwell. It was extremely uncomfortable. This was the first time Long Fei had felt such pain, such suffocating pain. All he could remember was his grandfather's doting and benevolence towards him. These scenes constantly flooded his mind, making him feel extremely uncomfortable. There must be a way, grandfather, you said. There must be a way, right? Dragon Salyer. And then, as long as he had dragon blood, he would be able to save grandfather. Long Fei immediately asked, Uncle, didn't you say that if you had dragon blood, you would be able to help grandfather? I can use Dragon Salyers to exchange for dragon blood. I can exchange for dragon blood. Long Fei didn't even know what his family members were in his previous life. From birth, he had never known who his parents were and never received any family love. Family was what he longed for the most. Although he was just a transcender, the images in his mind made him feel what it meant to be family. As long as he could save grandfather, he did not hesitate to exchange it with the Dragon Salyer. So what if it was a supreme artifact? In Long Fei's heart, his grandfather's life was more important than anything. The supreme artifact could explode again without it. If it died, would it be able to live again? Shut up. Long Sanfeng opened his eyes wide, staring straight at Long Fei, and shouted, the Dragon Salyer is a treasure passed down from the great ancestor. It is the supreme elder of the Long family, and you want to exchange my life for dragon blood? How do you want me to face the ancestors of the Long family in 100 years? Xiao Fei, as long as the Dragon Salyer exists, the Long family will not perish. He didn't want to be a sinner. He also didn't want to lose face to the ancestors of the Long family after death. The Dragon Salyer was the Long family's hope, and Long Fei was the Long family's hope. Long Zhanhai said in a pained voice, even if I can get dragon blood, it's useless. A portion of dragon blood is simply insufficient. Unless I can kill a huge dragon and use its blood essence to rebuild my body. Where is the giant dragon in God's martial continent? No one knows. Even if they did, killing a colossal dragon would be impossible. The dragon was the strongest being in the gods' martial continent. Even if it was the war emperor, the war god, this kind of supreme realm, didn't dare to say it was easy to kill. Not to mention, you can't even find it. After killing the gigantic dragon, the dragon's blood essence will be remade into its body. Long Fei muttered to himself. Long Sanfeng said weakly, Xiao Fei, don't listen to your uncle's nonsense. Life and death, the cycle of reincarnation, these are the laws of nature. Don't be sad for me. I will watch over you from the sky. But grandfather won't be able to see you get married and have children, and won't be able to carry a grandson in your arms anymore. Ha! That Nangong Yen, if you don't like her, you can annul the marriage. The 3 young ladies of the Heaven sect are not bad, and Jojo is not bad either. You are even better than your father's woman. I do not need to worry. Speaking of your father, Long Sanfeng's expression trembled, and said guiltily, It's all my fault for being too strict at the time. If I had promised your father, he wouldn't have left home, and he definitely wouldn't have not returned home after so many years." His eyes were full of remorse. Long Zhanhai said, "Father, so much time has passed. Old Third will definitely not resent you anymore." Long Sanfeng looked at Long Fei and said, "Xiao Fei, your father is my fault. If you can find him in your lifetime, then take me to apologize to him." Long Sanfeng had never told him about his father before. In his memories, he asked countless of times, but Long Sanfeng never answered. Moreover, what Long Fei didn't understand was that he didn't know who his mother was, and he didn't dare to ask her now either. Long Sanfeng acted as if he was going to do something later, causing Long Fei's heart to ache. "Grandfather, you have to apologize. Go and apologize by yourself. Don't ask me to pass this down. Don't worry, I'll definitely let you reform your body. I definitely will." Finished. Long Fei ran out anxiously. The moment he ran out of the courtyard, he couldn't hold back his tears any longer. They streamed down his face as he sobbed, as if his heart had been torn to shreds. He had never cried like this before. Never. "It's really useless. I'm really useless. If I were a little stronger, Grandfather wouldn't be injured and he wouldn't need to worry about me. Long Fei, you're really useless." Long Fei screamed in his heart, clenching his fists tightly, as though his teeth were going to shatter. "Become stronger. Become strong. I must become strong. I want to become the strongest person in this world." Roaring furiously at the sky, filled with powerlessness, when facing Nangong Lai, who had War Master Reem, he did not have the slightest bit of strength to resist. Moreover, he knew clearly in his heart that Nangong Lai had only tested him once, and the person behind him had become even stronger. The cultivation of the royal family's master was even stronger. How should he face it? In front of them, Long Fei felt that he was not even an ant. Long Fei ran out of the Long family residence like a madman. It would be a waste of his time to think of how to deal with Prince Nangong's family and the royal family. Right now, he had to think of how to save his grandfather. After teleporting with great difficulty, and with his family members by his side, Long Fei would never allow himself to become an orphan again. That feeling was something he had endured for more than 20 years, and he would never want to live that kind of life again. They ran to the Fengyuan Merchant Union. Zhao Er immediately went forward and said, "Young Master Long, Elder Lu is waiting for you in the backyard." Long Fei did not linger. He directly ran to the backyard and directly said to Lu Feng while looking at him, "Elder Lu, I want to see your pavilion master." Lu Feng immediately said, "I really want to tell you about this, but I heard that Nangong Lai went to the Long family today and did not go over. Our pavilion master has been summoned back to the main alliance. Perhaps." Lu Feng's face became anxious. Long Fei's brows tightened and said, "What's possible?" Lu Feng replied, "I may never come to the Fire-Glass City again. Is it because of me?" Long Fei finally understood that the Fengyuan Merchant Union could not interfere with the battles between the local families these few days. This was the principle. There was no doubt that Fu Shishan stood out to protect him. The Fengyuan Merchant Union immediately sent people to escort her back to the headquarters to interrogate her. These few days, Long Fei did not come to the Fengyuan Merchant Union, so he did not know about it. Lu Feng nodded his head and said, "Miss has violated the rules of the alliance for your sake. Even if her father is the alliance master, he would still be unable to protect her, not to mention that the inside of the Fengyuan Merchant Union is much more complicated than you imagine." As expected, Long Fei blamed himself in his heart. He really wanted to slap himself. Lu Feng thought of something and immediately took out a small bottle and said, Long Fei, this is the thing that Miss entrusted me to pass to you before she left. What is this? Long Fei asked. Lu Feng lowered his voice and said, Heaven Rank Continued Life Pill. Long Fei's expression was shocked as he received the pill. His heart was in extreme shock as he asked, How did she know that I need this thing? You're tuning in to the Mystic Fist YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.